I'm Alex Hayden, and we're here in Kansas for the second race of the round of 8. These 8 playoff drivers are starting to feel the pressure to perform with only 2 races to put themselves through to the championship 4. A win or strong finish could be crucial for those chances, especially with the uncertainties of the paperclip coming up next. Set and ready to get the cars rolling and the green flag in the air. Now let's get the race underway.
It is going to be a fun night of racing on NASCAR 21 Ignition today. At least I hope it is, as we are getting ready for the start of today's Hollywood Casino 400 at the Kansas Speedway. Our final season of NASCAR 21 Ignition will head to a 1.5 mile racetrack, and with the 550 package for the final time ever on the channel. Of course, this package not used in NASCAR starting this year with the next gen car. So this is it. History on the channel today. The final 550 race on the channel. We've had a lot of them between NASCAR Heat 4, Heat 5, and now NASCAR 21 Ignition. And we'll see if we can make it the full race, unlike the last one, which was the first race of the round at Texas. DNF'd at lap 10 after getting turned by Joey Gase middle of the front stretch. Unfortunately, it was just a product of the AI not running a proper line and not realizing I was on the inside of him in the middle of the front stretch. And after Ryan Blaney had hit the outside wall head on, he had DNF'd, scoring just 1 point for his place finish and no stage points throughout the course of the day because obviously, again, it was only lap 10 in the race when it happened. 60 points above the cutoff line, got trimmed down to 19. Joey Logano was able to go to victory lane and lock himself into the championship 4. There are still 3 spots open. You'll be able to see the point standing scrolling across the top of the screen throughout today's race. And again, Joey Logano, the only driver locked in. Blaney comes in 19 points to the good, as I just mentioned. Kevin Harvick, 8 points to the good. And Kyle Busch is the last driver above the cutoff line right now, just 1 point above William Byron. Kyle Larson will be the next closest behind Byron in points. He's 24 points below the cutoff line. Brad Keselowski, who's starting on the pole today, actually comes in at 38 points below the cutoff line, and Martin Truex Jr. rounds out the field at 40 points below the cutoff line entering today's race. You'll get to see the starting lineup on the right side of your screen right now. I mentioned Brad Keselowski will be on the pole. He comes in 38 points below the cutoff line, maybe in a must-win situation. He's got a good shot to do that from the pole today. William Byron, also Matt DiBenedetto outside of the front row in the start of today's race with Keselowski. William Byron, Michael McDowell qualified in row 2. Byron also below the cutoff line. Just 1 point, though. Looking for a lot of stage points today to potentially beat Kyle Busch on points heading into Martinsville. And then we've got Kevin Harvick, Christopher Bell in row number 3. Harvick is also right around the cutoff line, as mentioned, just 8 points to the good. Good starting spot. He'll be looking for a good point save, not a win to lock himself into the next round. Austin Dillon, Cole Custer in row 4. In row 5 will be Tyler Reddick and Kyle Busch. Just mentioned, of course, that Kyle Busch is only 1 point below the cutoff line, or above the cutoff line right now with 2 wins on the season, looking for his 3rd today. He actually won the first race at Kansas earlier this season, so he'll be going for the sweep at this racetrack. Our driver, Ryan Blaney, qualified in the 23rd place position, middle of the pack. I'm going to hope for the best that I don't wreck off the start of the race. Other playoff drivers who qualified outside the top 10 include Martin Truex Jr., who qualified in 13th. Chase Elliott was eliminated last round, so was Hamlin. Joey Logano starting all the way back in 28th, but again, he is already locked into the championship 4 with the win at Texas, so both today and Martinsville next week will not matter for Logano as far as his points purpose. Kyle Larson starting really deep in the field, qualified 33rd for today's race. And he is the last of the 8 playoff drivers on the starting grid, which is actually kind of shocking considering I didn't simulate qualifying, actually qualified for this one. Dark Crypto for Express, Asaya Z on Alt. Billy Carjoy, Billy Kramer. Joshua Rumsey and others, welcome into the stream. We've got 23 people watching right now, 8 likes in the early going. Again, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we get ready to start this. YouTube not letting me donate. I'm trying to blow the last 20 of my dollars. I actually couldn't send a donation. I want to say it was Sunday on YouTube. I was having errors with it for whatever reason. I was trying to send a super chat on another live stream that I was in after the cup races on Sunday. And after our live stream was done on Sunday, for whatever reason, it wasn't letting me. So I don't know if like YouTube's got an error going on with that right now or what the case is. Mr. Keegs, you see the thumbnail I sent? I did, but I ended up going with this one I already had prepared for today. Means I had off, I had a lot more time to get it ready. Green flag is going to be in the air. Again, Brad Keselowski will lead the field to the green at the start. Who is going to hang on for 400 miles to be the potential second driver to lock themselves into the championship 4? Blaney down on the inside line, off the start. Ross Chastain going to get around him. Alex Bowman to the outside. And no rearview mirror in this game, so it could be a little difficult trying to gauge exactly if you could be clear or not on the cars inside or outside of you, depending on where you're making the move. Joey Logano gaining a couple spots. Looks like 3 positions gained off the start for Logano as Blaney moves into the outside lane, now heading towards turns 1 and 2. Massive checkup going on that time. Allows for Blaney to get on the outside of the 48 car of Alex Bowman. Blaney trying to get into the clean air in that third lane on the outside right now. Can't be patient like he was at Vegas. He was patient at the start of the Texas race. That didn't work out well for him. Corey LaJoie not giving Blaney a lot of room. Again, no stability help on for this race today. Look at how close together Suarez and Blaney were into 1 and 2. Blaney side-drafted Daniel Suarez very aggressively going into the corner. Was also able to get down right in front of Corey LaJoie before getting put 3 wide middle. And he'll finally complete the pass on Suarez as he goes full throttle through turns 3 and 4. Train fan, welcome to the stream. Patrick Shadley, welcome into the stream as well. Brad K's also your pick to win Michigan. That's a bold prediction. He never seems to have great luck at his home track. It's mainly bold though, considering his success with RFK so far this year. 3 wide up ahead, Denny Hamlin sandwiching Ryan Newman, and I can't tell who that car is on the outside. I believe it was potentially Cole Custer up ahead, and they're all making it through turns 3 and 4. Blaney got around 2 cars on the bottom, passing both Anthony Alfredo and Ross Chastain. He's definitely lifting a little bit on corner entry right now, just trying not to make contact with the cars in front of him, as he is also getting a little tight in the middle of the corners as well. At least when he's in the dirty air. Doesn't feel comfortable running the outside, at least for right now. We'll get to the inside of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., side by side for the 20th place position, middle of the triangle. 6 laps complete in the early going of today's race. Blaney will clear Stenhouse into 1 and 2. He's got a good... Oh, Logano got tight off the exit of turn 2. He went up towards the wall a little bit quicker. Blaney underneath him now. 2 Penske teammates side by side. Blaney now also to the inside of the 10 of Almirola as he clears Logano. Logano maybe giving his teammate a little bit more room. We'll see if all 3 Penske cars can lock themselves into the championship 4. So far, so good. One car closed it in into turn 1. That was Stenhouse, who had a massive run. Blaney has to lift to keep it off the 22 of Logano. Especially, he was really close to making contact with Joey's left front with his right front. Logano has nowhere to go, though, into turn 3, side by side with Custer and Eric Almirola in front of him. Down towards the bottom now. Blaney getting a run off the outside this time. He's going to go 3 wide to the top on Custer and Logano. Is Blaney going to get enough room? Very, very narrow area to race with there, but what a pass by Ryan Blaney on the outside. 3 wide to get around his teammate Logano, as well as Cole Custer in the 41. And now is underneath Eric Almirola for position into turns 3 and 4. Down on the bottom, Almirola up high. Blaney sliding up. Clears Almirola with a clean pass in turns 3 and 4. He's up to P17. need stage points. There's a lot of playoff drivers below the cutoff line, 3 of which, in fact, that qualified inside the top 5. So he really needs to get up here, knowing he's only 19 points above the cutoff line. That first driver below the cutoff line, William Byron, qualified 3rd.
One down low. Clear, clear, clear.
So Blaney can't afford to be patient today. After that DNF at Texas, blows around Ryan Newman that time on the backstretch. Had a big run on him. Ran a lot higher through turns 1 and 2. 11 wins doesn't make the championship 4. It is possible.
Car right.
That was not a great first race at Texas in the round. And Blaney's won 3 of the 7 playoff races so far as well, so he's been good in the playoffs. Little slide job maneuver on Briscoe. Had to lift in the middle of the corner. He drove it in so flat to get in. And again, dirty air with the cars in front of him. I think the dirty air problem only going to be more and more difficult as we get later and later into this opening green flag run. Bubba Wallace had a run up the outside on turn 4. Hamlin with a block middle of the front stretch. Hamlin was eliminated after the roval in the round of 12. Blaney to the outside again in 1 and 2 to get alongside Bubba Wallace. And he is going to clear him. I'm just wondering if the AI is going to give him enough room every time. It's been tight a couple times now. Blaney stays in the throttle so he can go to the outside lane. And he is 3 wide with Chris Buescher down low right now. Denny Hamlin on the bottom clears Buescher. Blaney carries the momentum on the front stretch. Buescher didn't really side draft Blaney aggressively enough. Couldn't stay alongside the 12. Blaney to the outside in turns 1 and 2. Again, trying to hold full throttle. Can't do it. He's out of the gas. Any little bit of contact could blow a tire both with other cars and in the wall, as well as losing control considering there's no stability help on. Blaney now to the inside lane underneath Denny Hamlin. McDowell down the block in the middle of the corner. It's going to put Blaney in the dirty air. It shoved the 12 car a little bit wide, but stayed off of Hamlin. Now goes down to the apron through the tri-oval, trying to give himself a little bit more space. As the 11 and the 12 both trying to get around the 34 of Michael McDowell. Blaney slide job into turns 1 and 2. Clears McDowell. Moves up the track. McDowell with a crossover down to the bottom. Trying to keep an eye on the chat, but I'm really trying to stay focused so I don't get in an early wreck tonight. Try to get you guys the full race in. Unlike at Texas on Monday. Blaney clears McDowell on the front stretch that time. A better run off turn 4. And looks like Matt DiBenedetto, who qualified outside front row, is already back to 10th place. Pretty large single file line now throughout the top 11. Hamlin McDowell side by side off turn 2 for 12th. A little bit further back. Does seem like Blaney's a little tighter in turns 1 and 2 than 3 and 4. 3 and 4, he's very comfortable running the outside as he did that time again. Trying to go back towards the top in turns 1 and 2. Managing the throttle, he's lifting just a little bit. The earlier on corner entry he can, the better he can have corner exit speed. Rolling back into the gas a bit sooner. Has the run, and DiBenedetto looks low into turn 3. And he will slide clear of DiBenedetto in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Matty D with the crossover now off the exit of the corner. Door to door is the 12 and the 21. Middle of the front stretch. Lap 16 of 80 in stage 1. The stages are split 80 laps in stage 1, 80 laps in stage 2, and the final stage will be 107 laps tonight. Everybody will have to make one stop in each stage. And he's still trying to get around Matty D. Currently, burps the throttle as he runs the middle lane that time. And he'll definitely be able to clear DiBenedetto for 10th. And 34 people watching in the early going. 12 likes so far on the stream today. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you haven't already. Just hit over 2.8 thousand subscribers on the channel a couple nights ago. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in, whether you are repeat viewers or first time tuning in. Full race live streams with realistic commentary on both the video game side and the real races on the race weekend. No real race live commentary this weekend. I'll be at Michigan for the Cup Series race, so you can expect a race highlight video up on the channel late that Sunday night after the Cup race. Still working on other videos for the channel before I go there on Sunday as well, so tune in for other stuff on the channel later this week. NASCAR Cup Series 2311 Racing and Stephen Goad, welcome to the stream. Side by side, it looks like for position back straightaway. Mark Truex Jr. trying to get around one car. Can't tell exactly who it is. Blaney trying to get the clean air with Chase Elliott going down to the bottom. Blaney up on the outside. Elliott's going to slide up in front of him off the exit of turn 4. Blaney down low underneath Elliott. Elliott thought about going down the side draft, thought better of it. Still door to door up towards the front. Blaney clears Elliott before entering into turn 1. So he's able to get right back to the outside again, which seems to be his preferred lane. Tyler Reddick is the car side by side with Truex, and they have been side by side for about a lap and a half. It's allowing Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, and Chase Elliott to close in. Stage points on the line in about 60 laps. Blaney all the way down to the apron through the tri-oval. He's going to be aggressive as he gets to the inside of Bell, not wasting any time to get underneath the 20 car. And he will be clear in the middle of 1 and 2. He slides up wide, has to lift quite a bit to keep it off the wall. Bell's going to get the crossover. And now it's side by side for position between the 20 and the 12 as they head towards turns 3 and 4, just like the two cars of Reddick and Truex are in front of him. Truex and Reddick have been side by side for almost 3 laps consecutively now.
Got one left.
Bell, Blaney giving each other a little room off turn 4. So 19 going up the track trying to side draft the 8. Bell trying to side draft the 12 of Blaney as well. As they get closer to the two cars in front of him, that could allow for dirty air to come into play. It looks like Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski side by side for 4th up there. Blaney will clear Bell off the exit of turn number 2. A lot of side by side racing going on inside the top 10 currently. Trey's Real Fanning, welcome to the stream. Down to the apron through the tri-oval. He's got a little clean air with the 19 and the 8 side drafting each other quite substantially. Blaney's got to run as he gets more clean air through turns 1 and 2. Here he comes down the backstretch, 3 wide as they enter towards turn 3. Is this going to work? Blaney clears Truex. Reddick moves up the racetrack. Has to lift to keep it off the wall. Truex pulls clear of the 8. And now Reddick side drafts Ryan Blaney for position. That was a close call into turns 3 and 4.
Clear.
Aggressive move by Ryan Blaney didn't play off completely. And now Bell's back in the battle again as well.
Stay right. Stay high.
Reddick is really holding that 12 car tight off the exit of the corners. Forcing Blaney to have to hit his marks perfectly. Mark DeMars, welcome into the stream. Blaney just clears Reddick and out blocks him in the middle of the tri-oval. Blaney's definitely liking this middle to upper groove right now. A lot closer to the bottom that time it was Truex, so Blaney actually came off the wall a little bit. Still gets a decent run on him down the backstretch heading towards turns 3 and 4. Truex with a wider arc that time, kind of fake going to the top. Blaney is out of the gas. He just got into the wall off turn 4. That cost him a lot of momentum. Luckily, he didn't blow a tire. Tyler Reddick closing in behind. But he still stays in front of the 8 car. We are at lap 25, by the way, right now. Imagine Kansas Super Speedway. A lot of passing, tons of action. Hey, don't give NASCAR any ideas, man. We got enough super speedways with Atlanta being one now. That was a really good corner through turns 1 and 2. Blaney's starting to run Truex back down again. Slowly merging his way through the field. A lot of playoff drivers already in the top 10. Most of them really in the top 7 that are in the top 10. In fact, Elliott, Bell, Reddick all eliminated from the playoffs so far, running 8th through 10th. And he's got to run on Mark Truex Jr. in the 19 car, looking low. Truex takes the outside into turns 1 and 2. Blaney on the brakes just a little bit into 1 and 2. That probably He's trying to keep it from sliding way up the racetrack, and he actually stayed in front of the 19 off the exit corner. I'm surprised Truex didn't try a crossover. Blaney didn't want to get all the way to the wall that time. That's why he was on the brakes a bit rather than driving it in deep until he absolutely couldn't anymore, and then got out of the gas, and that actually worked out well for him. Austin Dillon in third. I believe he's the highest running non-playoff driver currently. Rod G, welcome into the stream. Three-car battle for third going on between Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski. Keselowski qualified on the pole, fell back just a little bit. Dire need of points right now as well as Truex. They're both sitting 38 and 40 points below the cutoff line coming in. Both in the top 7 early on in stage 1. Side by side for third right now as well between Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon. I'd imagine William Byron somewhere towards the front of the field, considering he qualified third, and I wonder if he is potentially leading in the early going. Blaney down to the apron through the tri-oval, trying to take a little bit of a shortcut that time. Running the outside's so risky, especially with the Gen 6 cars. You are at risk of blowing a tire if you get into the wall. Blaney feels comfortable on that outside right now, especially when he's not battling anybody for position. Had to lift just a little bit more than normal that time through turns 3 and 4, and as the tires start to wear out more and more into this opening fuel and tire stint where there hasn't been able to be any adjustment changes yet. See how that's going to work out for Ryan. Where's my 8-wide race? Busch is pulling away from Austin Dillon after he passed him a few laps ago as well. Almost looks like the gap between first and second up ahead is closing a bit as well. Blaney to the outside of his teammate Keselowski. Both battling still for a championship 4 spot off the exit of turn 2. Keselowski holds clear in front of Ryan. Brad with a little bit of a block as Blaney pulled out of line. Blaney looks low. Keselowski maybe crowding the 12 just a little bit. Oh, man, checked up in the middle of the corner was Brad. Cost a little bit of momentum on that 12 car. Slowed him down middle of the tri-oval and actually launched the 2 car a little bit further out ahead. Brad in the middle lane. Truex keeping pace, with the 12. Ryan Blaney right now. Blaney into turns 1 and 2. Again, trying to get to the outside of the 2. Keselowski continues to block. Off the exit of turn 2, Blaney just got to the inside of the deuce. Into turns 3 and 4, Blaney is clear for 5th place, but now will Keselowski be able to pull off the crossover? And off the exit of turn 4, they're side by side again with the 12 up high and the 2 down low. And Blaney hangs on at a little bit more momentum off the exit of turn 4, was able to clear Keselowski into 1. Brad was aggressively trying to side draft that left rear corner panel on the 12 car as well. Kyle Busch is definitely closing on the top 2. Slowly but surely. Might have a shot to win this. I think there's a good chance we're going to see one of the other drivers clinch their way into the championship 4 when you consider the fact that Logano started really deep in the field back in 28th. And there's a lot of other playoff drivers in the top 7 right now. I think Harvick might be the one leading. If he is leading, then that means of the top 7, 6 of which are in the playoffs but not locked into the championship 4 yet. Blaney's got to run. Dillon going to take the outside. He gave the bottom up for Ryan Blaney, and Blaney's actually going to clear him before getting into turn 1. Dillon wasn't aggressive with the side draft that time. I wonder if him battling a driver not in the playoffs might have been the reason why. Lap traffic going to become a factor here in a matter of moments as well, as the leaders are slowly closing in on him. Blaney up to a P-high place, position high, 4th place. You can play catch up when there's mustard there. What does that even mean? I get what you meant there. Wrong kind of ketchup. I very rarely would ever go mustard only on anything. It wouldn't be my first choice on anything, I'll tell you that much. Like, I like mustard. I better focus. Talking about mustard almost costed Blaney. Not really able to keep up with the top 3 too well right now. Brush the wall. We'll save the hot dog talk for the Martinsville race. We're more famous for the hot dogs. Brandon Wilson, welcome to the stream. The second time Blaney's gotten into the wall today. The first time was more in the middle of turns 1 and 2. That was right off the exit of turn 4. Top 3 are starting to pull away from Ryan Blaney. I don't think he's really got anything for him on the long run, at least. Plus qualifying 23rd, it took him quite a bit to get up to here. We'll see how much the lap traffic is potentially going to slow these drivers down as they close in on it. Halfway through stage 1 already. This time by, officially, it will be 40 laps in. Out of 80 in this opening stage. Yeah, ketchup's my first choice. It depends on what it is. Mayonnaise could be. Closer to the wall you can get without hitting it, the faster the line you'll have. At least when it comes to straightaway speed off the exit. Older tires, it becomes more and more risky to run that much closer to the wall. Less grip. Lenny's about a full second ahead of Austin Dillon already. And there is a lap car slowing down Kevin Harvick in the middle of turns 1 and 2 that time. Stuck in line behind him down the backstretch heading towards turn 3 as William Byron and Kyle Busch start to catch up. 1 point separates Byron and Busch coming into today's race right on the cutoff line. Major stage points on the line between those two, as well as the few cars just in line behind them. Harvick has gotten around the first lap car, now he's stuck behind the second car. Brendan Gaughan was that first lapper everybody was trying to catch. This is a chance for Blaney to catch up, but he's been in clean air for the last few laps, and the car's already getting a little tighter, so if he gets into dirty air, it might get even worse. He's definitely going to have to be careful which lane he chooses. If the lap cars are already on the outside, he may have to try to get to the bottom. Just try to pick the hole that's got the cleanest air. Team Penske fan, welcome to the stream. Busch, Byron, nose to tail off turn 2, lap car in front of him. Harvick already making passes, seeing Byron and Harvick moving to the inside that time into 3 and 4. Busch does not. And he's still on the outside near the wall. He still hasn't caught his first lap car yet. I'd probably say next lap he'll end up catching Brendan Gaughan. Might catch him into turns 1 and 2 this time after running the top through turns 3 and 4. Blaney again to the outside. He just does not want to be in dirty air. He's got to run, though, on the backstretch. Pulls out of line now on Gone. Looking to the inside into turn 3.
Hold your line. Clear all around.
He's got to get underneath him. Has to check up a little bit as he falls in line now behind Josh Balicki in the 52 car. So he was able to get around Gone quickly, but then he got caught up in the dirty air behind Balicki in the middle of turns 3 and 4.
Clear, clear.
Kyle Busch currently trying to get around Timmy Hill in the 66.
Clear, clear.
Lenny down on the bottom, drives it in deep into turns 3 and 4. Washed up the track just a little bit. Just wanted to make sure he was going to clear Balicki that time, and he did. Now Blaney back to the outside again. As he closes on the 66 car of Timmy Hill. Not a lot of room there.
Clear all around.
Not a lot of room off the exit of turn 4. Blaney's still got a massive run on Kyle Busch, and he's going for 3rd place into turns 1 and 2. Just kept it off the wall that time. Busch is stuck behind the 00 of Quinn Houff currently. Now pulls out of line. And may have lost his chance to stay in front of Blaney.
All clear.
They're going to split Houff into turns 3 and 4. Blaney to the outside. Kyle Busch down low. Blaney with the run, the middle of the corner. Busch pulls high with a block. Successful. Harvick, Byron, nose to tail. Byron going low under Harvick for the lead. 4 cars under a blanket, half a second apart. With just over 30 laps to go in stage 1. Byron, Harvick, side by side for the lead. Nearly got into the back of the 4 car off the exit of the corner. Busch pulls down to try and pull a block on Blaney. Blaney checks up, goes to the outside into turns 3 and 4. Byron trying to get around James Davison. Blaney is already on the outside of Busch, using Davison as a pick to get to 3rd. Byron's got a lot of momentum on the front stretch as well as the 12 cars. They close in on the 4 of Harvick. Into turn 1. Harvick to the outside. Blaney got his line taken away for a brief moment. Now is on the outside of Kevin Harvick. 3 wide for the lead off the exit of turn 2 as Blaney gets into the wall. Still 3 wide for the lead as they enter turn 3. Lap car in the way. They may be 4. Blaney has to lift to keep it off the wall. Overdrove the corner just a bit, and now he's got the lap car in front of him on the outside, and William Byron will take the lead for the first time today. Massive run. Harvick slowed down to the side draft with the 53 car. Blaney down to the inside. Drove it in deep into turn 1. Contact with Byron in the middle of the corner. Harvick to the inside. And Byron and Harvick nearly get together off turn 2. That was nearly a wreck between the 12 and the 24 car that time. Harvick back out in front after the mistake from the 12 and the 24. It's mainly caused by the 12 overdriving it, but now the lap car of Justin Haley is in the way. Blaney again stuck behind Byron and Harvick, refraining himself from trying to take it 3 wide that time as they enter turns 1 and 2. To the outside of Byron.
Good job. Go get me
Driving it in deep. He's in the wall. They can't get off of it either, and Kyle Busch will take over 3rd after Blaney is in the wall in turns 1 and 2, but did not blow a tire. All tires are up on the 12 car. Going away from the wall that time in turns 3 and 4 as he pulled down to the bottom. Byron just got passed by Kyle Busch as well. Blaney back to the outside. Trying to get around Justin Haley. Harvick trapped behind Cody Ware. Kyle Busch looking for his first lead. Off the exit of turn 2. Blaney almost got in the wall again. 24 car tried to pull up in line and then goes to the bottom into turn 3. Byron drove it in deep. Gets alongside Busch. Busch checked up for whatever reason. They're getting into the corner, but got launched off the exit by Blaney. Harvick blocks him now. An incredible 4-car battle for the lead here towards the end of this first fuel run. I'll pause it down the back stretch one of these laps so I can make sure exactly how much fuel can be used for these drivers. Oh, contact! Cody Ware, William Byron off turn 2.
Clear, clear, clear.
Busch checked up, Blaney underneath him.
Clear, clear, clear.
Blaney in the dirty air behind Byron has to lift as he goes up the racetrack, almost into Cody Ware in the 51. And Busch almost into the back of the 12 after the 12 lifted. Keeping the momentum up on the front stretch. Blaney again to the outside, turns 1 and 2.
Clear, clear, clear.
Harvick down low, stuck behind the 78 now. BJ McLeod. Blaney just gave the 24 car a shot. Off turn 2. Harvick tried to block Byron. Oh, and McLeod moves down in front of the 24 as he's desperately trying to stay on the lead lap. Side by side, no. Byron clear off turn 4, and Byron back in the lead. Blaney to the inside of Harvick now, middle of the front stretch. McLeod blocking the 24. Blaney down to the inside. Incoming slide job into turns 1 and 2. Blaney goes wide. He clears everyone. McLeod back to the bottom, but Blaney's in the lead for the first time today. BJ McLeod was the one who got back by. McLeod blocks Blaney on the backstretch. Blaney drives it in deep into 3 and 4 again, trying to get around the lap car. He goes up the track, contact into the wall, goes to 12. We've got a wreck in turn 4. 53 cars around, as well as a 78, and caution's out for the first time today. Oh, man, I was wondering if that was going to happen. Those guys were going at it for a while. Caution is out. Blaney just got hooked on the 78. Couple other cars collected. I think all the rest of the leaders missed it except for Ryan Blaney, who was unfortunately caught up in the accident. I don't know if he blew a tire or not. I'm not going to take any fuel, but I will take tires. Just because I might have blown a tire. I'll take right sides only. Just to make sure. Caution's out for the first time today. That was a matter of time, I feel like. I was surprised it lasted as long as I did. At least I can check how long I can go on fuel now. Pause it for a quick second before we get to the restart. I want to make sure that I know how far I can go on fuel. 55 to 57 laps is the full fuel window here at Kansas. So 55 to 57 laps. Sure the lefts aren't flat? I don't think so. I hit like towards the right front. I would assume the right side's only ones that aren't flat. That's the only reason I even pitted for tires. Gustavo Brian, welcome to the stream. And hopefully I'm saying your last name correctly. And aggressive goes around. Yeah, that was the case there. I'm keeping a pause for one quick second because I do want to go back and look at the replay real quick. I want to see if anybody else pitted. I was looking at my laptop on the fuel gauge. I don't know if anybody else pitted during the caution. Let me play that out for a quick second. Typical McLeod too, almost like in reality. I don't know why he was racing the leader so hard. I mean, I get we were coming close to pit stops. There's still like 15 laps to go, just over 15 to go in the stage, or just over 25 to go in the stage. So he was likely going to go lap down eventually. I don't know what he was hoping for there. And I think he probably got the worst of it. Only going to get worse for hope not. Oh, I accidentally paused it. Yeah, I'm going back. I need to see if anybody else pitted. Oh, they were on pit road. Yeah, so everybody seemed to have hit pit road that time. Ryan Blaney's only going to have a couple more laps of fuel left, and he's going to have to make an unscheduled green flag stop. So that's unfortunate. Green flag back in the air at Kansas. A little bit of a checkup on the restart. Got some slower cars mixed in here. Blaney going to go 3 wide to the bottom under Austin Dillon, Denny Hamlin. Side by side for the lead up in the front of the field. Looks like between Kevin Harvick and another race car. And Blaney's going to have to pit sometime soon for fuel before he runs out. And everybody else seemed to have already pit. So that means they also got fresher 4 tires and Blaney as well, unfortunately. So Blaney's just going to end up pitting very, very soon here. It's going to put him a lap down. Unfortunately, that's going to take him out of a chance of getting stage points as well.
All clear.
He's going to clear Timmy Hill off turn 2. He's going to make sure he stays on the outside as they enter towards inside towards turn 3 so he can pit. As he's probably only got a couple laps of fuel left in the race car. So Blaney will pit off turn 4 this time. Doesn't want to miss the pits, and he does get down to pit road speed. That was like perfect. Trying to get down to pit road speed and not miss the commitment line. Blaney pulls out of the way. So 4 tires and fuel for Ryan Blaney during this unscheduled green flag pit stop. Well, it's scheduled in the sense that he didn't pit for fuel already. But because he was brought out the accident, he couldn't actually pit for fuel and tires, so it'll be a 4-tire stop. Blaney will not get stage points in stage 1. And he's definitely got damage to the front of the car. Luckily, he didn't DNF. All those guys are battling hard for stage points, all within 19 points of the cutoff line between those 4 that were battling for the lead. Right when Blaney took the lead for the first time, he couldn't actually get a lap led. Oh, come on, game. I swear to God. And no caution for that. And that's going to put Blaney 2 laps down by the time he... Yep, there he goes. So Ryan Blaney is 2 laps down now. You try to get up to speed in this game when you're in first or second gear without stability help on it. It just spins you right out when you come out of the pits. And Blaney, by the time he gets up to speed, has been passed by the whole field. So he is definitely going to be, instead of 1 lap down, he is going to be 2 laps down now to the end of stage 1. Regardless of pretty much what happens the rest of the stage.
Got 1 left. Clear all around.
Truex and Byron are towards the back all of a sudden now, which is kind of odd. They're not in position to get stage points anymore. I don't know what happened there.
Rebind, you got 2 up top. Rebind, you got 2 up top.
Still about 13 or 14 laps to go yet in the stage.
Clear, clear, clear. Got 1 right.
Ryan Blaney 2 laps down. Involved in that first caution flag of the day. Stage break coming up soon. He's the only car 2 down. Got some cars that are 1 lap down, but not a whole lot of them.
Got 1 right. Clear, clear, clear.
Contact between Stenhouse and Briscoe looked like off the exit of turn 2.
Still there. Clear, 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 clear.
Fire the strategist now. It's not the strategy that's bad. I mean, you guys that are regulars of the channel know if I'm caught up in an accident, I don't pit for fuel or tires.
Still there.
Unless I absolutely have to. In that case, the tires seem to likely be down after the accident, but I didn't pit for fuel. So I had to come back down and pit again, and then unfortunately lost control of the car coming out of the pits, which wasn't my fault. So we went from being 1 lap down to about 2 down. Blaney hitting the wall as he didn't get a lot of room as they were 3 wide off the exit of turn 4. Cars underneath them. The tires are afloat, luckily. Every time he's hit the wall today in that kind of fashion. Trying to get through these cars that he knows he's faster than right now. I mean, maybe there's a chance he unlaps himself before the end of the stage. gets one of the 2 laps back. We know he can pit during the stage break and try to make up time on fresh tires that way, which is definitely going to be the play, regardless if he gets one of his 2 laps back before the end of stage 1 or not. The plan will be for Ryan Blaney to hit pit road during the stage break when I would have to assume nobody else will.
3 wide, 2 outside. 3 wide, got 2 up top.
Deep dive into turns 3 and 4. That time he didn't turn himself off the front bumper of the lap car. That time it was James Davison he was trying to pass. Kyle Busch has fallen outside the top 10 on the restart, as well as Brad Keselowski too. Very interesting how all 5 drivers that were right around, if not in the top 10, are now no longer there. Contact between Bilicki and Keselowski. And Keselowski nearly got done by the 52 car off the exit of turn 2. Man, it is. I am telling you guys, it is hot in my room. I can't turn my fan on when I have my PS4 on because I only have the one outlet close to it, and they're in the same one. And I am already sweating, so if you hear me like trying to trudge through it, that is why. It is getting warm. Nearly 90 degrees today. Chase Elliott down low, the block into 3 and 4. Blaney slide jobs his way around Keselowski. All clear of the deuce. Going down to block him. Middle of the tri-oval now. Blaney catching the clean air in that middle to upper groove now. Gets around Busch. Side drops Elliott off the exit of turn 2. Well, less than 10 laps to go in the stage. There's going to be a shot. Blaney's going to get back on the lead lap. He's just going to get around the 15th place car of Chris Buescher this time into turns 3 and 4. Could be the greatest choke job in NASCAR game history. God, I hope not. 60-point cushion above the cutoff line coming into the round. In the wall off turn 2. Gets around 77. I'm going to set Josh Bilicki. He's not in that car last season. Would have been Justin Haley.
Got 1 left, 1 down low. Clear all around.
Yeah, there's only about 6 laps to go at the most right now.
Got 1 left.
Outside of Wilkin in the stream. The green turn sweater. What are you talking about? You got against my Green Bay Packers. It's actually a really thin t-shirt. It's like a dry fit t-shirt. It's long sleeve, but it's... I didn't think it was going to be as warm as I thought it was going to. Pulling it, yeah, we're pulling an AJ this weekend. Don't do an AJ. I have water. I at least have water. I'm not out of water. I'll be chugging it, refilling it every chance I get. Benedetto in 10th, just up ahead. Ryan Blaney will have just under 20 lap fresher tires versus the rest of the field once he pits during the stage break, assuming everybody else stays out. Worst thing that can happen is everybody else pits along with Blaney. Ends up still 2 laps down to start stage 2, but I doubt that that's going to be the case. Oh, that's right. I forgot the NFL preseason starts tonight. I don't even know who's playing in the Hall of Fame game this year, but I did hear from somebody at work that he's supposed to be the one. So no stage points up for Ryan Blaney in stage 1. That's going to hurt, depending on how many playoff drivers actually get into the top 10. A lot of them that were running there prior to the caution are not there anymore. And the stage will be complete when the top 10 hits the start-finish line this time.
road is closed.
So stage 1 is in the books tonight at Kansas. We'll go through who will all get stage points. We know Blaney is the only car 2 laps down right now in last, and he will pit during the stage break itself. Kevin Harvick will win stage 1. Kyle Larson 2nd. Joey Logano 3rd. All playoff drivers. And then the first non-playoff driver will be Reddick, who was eliminated in the round of 16. He'll finish 4th. Denny Hamlin eliminated in the round of 12, finishes 5th. Dillon, Bowman both eliminated 6th, 7th. Michael McDowell eliminated, finished 8th. Almirola didn't even make the playoffs, finished 9th. Matt Benedetto rounds up the top 10. So only the top 3 drivers are in the round of 8 of the playoffs, and one of which, Joey Logano, already locked into the championship 4, so he's just kind of racing for nothing today. Just bragging rights, I guess. And of course, with him winning, that doesn't lock anybody else in, so could maybe increase the chance of Keselowski getting in with him being much lower below the cutoff line, as well as Blaney for that matter, as Blaney is above the cutoff line. So now on to pits, into pits, and no adjustments this time for Ryan Blaney. It will be a 4-tire stop. Oakland and Jacksonville are playing today. I wonder if my dad will be watching. Well, they're not from Oakland anymore. Yeah, they're Vegas. I get you. I catch myself saying Oakland quite a bit. I catch myself saying San Diego a lot with the Chargers now, too, even though they've been in LA the last couple years. Have to pause it for a quick second, make sure I tally those stage points up. I won't change the graphics at the top of the screen, at least for stage 1. I may do it at the start of stage 2, but at least through stage 1 I won't. But I'm still going to put the points in. Harvick won the stage. Kyle Larson was 2nd. Yeah, Logano already locked in. Also for Kevin Harvick, him winning that stage, that was Harvick's 4th stage win of the season so far. So 4 stage wins for Kevin Harvick so far this season. Back to the regularly scheduled program. Green flag back in the air. Blaney's going to have just more than 20 lap pressured tires, or just less, I guess, than 20 lap pressured tires on the rest of the field, so he is really trying to take advantage of this now. On the top, 3 wide, passes a couple cars off the initial start. Got to get through these cars as quickly as possible. Again, he is not 1, but 2 laps down. Making some drastic moves already to start this stage off. Thought about pulling down to the bottom, still does. 3 wide. Hoping that these guys are going to give him enough room. He hasn't gone 3 wide to the bottom hardly at all today. Unless he tries like a slide job pass to clear everybody, but not to go 3 wide to the bottom and hold it there. He did that time, it worked. Single file bottom into 3 and 4. That will work as well for now. And he's still 3 wide. And the tri-oval, Truex Chastain, now side by side into turn 1.
2 on the outside, you're 3, all clear, all clear. 3 wide, you got 2 up top.
3 wide for a brief moment there, and now 3 wide off the exit of turn 2 as well. Swerves in LaJoy to his outside.
3 wide, 2 outside. 3 wide, you got 2 up top.
Almost got into Anthony Alfredo. I didn't think Alfredo was going to give him a lot of room. Blaney lifted middle of the corner. 38 car moves high. Nearly had contact as there were 3 wide. Keselowski was already there. And Blaney back to the top again as they enter turns 1 and 2. Trying to go full throttle through the corner. Blowing around cars on about 20 laps. Fresher tires as he got 3 wide to the top. And what moves being made right now by Ryan Blaney as he's trying to get back into this race. Continues to try to go full throttle, really pushing the issue. Looks as if he is going to be in a good spot to get one of these 2 laps back quickly. Still a one-stop stage for everybody. They're probably going to pick closer to halfway through this stage. this time around, I'd have to imagine. Which, if I'm Ryan Blaney, I think you have to pit the same time as the rest of the field. Stay on the same strategy in this stage, at least on when you make that only stop. Kevin Harvick continues to lead off the restart. Kyle Larson right there. Blaney to the inside of Harvick into turns 1 and 2. Blaney is now only 1 lap down rather than 2 down. There's just nothing on the line for preseason. You get to watch a bunch of the third stringers play. It's more... Preseason isn't for fans. It's not for fans, it's not for entertainment. It's literally for jobs. And it's literally for players in the NFL and trying to make the NFL. So it's important for them, but it's got no importance as far as like the overall. And I guess it's important for the teams too when you consider the fact that you want your reserves to be the best possible. So if you're making cuts, you don't want to end up cutting a guy that could end up actually potentially playing later down the road in the season if you have injuries on your team. So it is important for the teams too, but in fans' eyes, it's not important because there's nothing on the line in that specific game like there is every other game throughout the year. It's weird though because like in NASCAR, you have a couple exhibition races, with the All-Star race and the Clash at the beginning of the year, but for whatever reason, those 2 races, I'd say in NASCAR fans' eyes, they prefer more than what it seems like other sports prefer their All-Star games or. I put it on the same level as baseball with spring training. There's a lot of baseball fans that like to watch spring training games, and I'd kind of put NASCAR in that same talking point as far as NASCAR fans liking to watch the exhibition races too. And Ryan Blaney 2 laps down at the end of stage 1 after being involved in an accident while battling for the lead with Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, William Byron back in stage 1 with a little over 25 laps to go in the stage. Had to make an unscheduled stop, fell 2 laps down after spinning coming out of the pits. A little bit of a game glitch, and now Ryan Blaney unfortunately had to pit during that stage break to try to make up time, being down 2 laps. Him finishing last means he did not get any stage points in stage 1. Harvick won the stage. Logano finished 30, he's locked into the next round. Larson, who came in 24 points below the cutoff line, gets 9 points. So now he is all of a sudden only 15 points below the cutoff line on Kyle Busch and William Byron, who were only 1 point apart from each other coming into the race today. Good news for Blaney. He got through that traffic pretty quickly. We're 11 laps into the stage already, but he's able to go full throttle because he's got no traffic around. Regular season starting to get boring also. What sport are we talking about now? Still football? The only reason it's entertaining to me still, personally, is because I play fantasy football. So it kind of gives me an incentive to watch other games. I still enjoy watching Packers games because I have a rooting interest. So if I have a rooting interest or, I'm playing fantasy and one of my star players is, let's say if I have like Pat Mahomes, on my fantasy team, I'm probably going to watch the Chiefs play Sunday Night Football, if that makes any sense. Especially if I'm in a tight game that week. I'm not reading that next name in the chat, but thanks for tuning in. Going to Watkins Glen, yeah, enjoy it, man. If you've never been there before, or even if you have, it's, in my personal opinion, my favorite road course that I've been to so far of the natural road courses. Now, Blaney will pass some cars for position at the very back of the field this time through. We probably got anywhere between 20 to 30 laps, I'd probably say. Maybe even sooner than 30 laps before we start to see green flag pit stops at stage 2. Nobody had to pit under green other than Blaney in stage 1. Blaney can extend this run as far as he can on fuel and tires, but he really doesn't want to be left out on the racetrack with old tires, allowing for the field to try to catch back up to him again. The goal for Blaney in stage 2 is to get back on the lead lap for the start of the final stage. It's going to be difficult to get stage points in this stage as well, but if he can get back on the lead lap, that would be ideal. Toxic Punk Young Boy, welcome into the stream as well. Yeah, smash that like if you have not already, as he stated. 24 likes on the stream so far. We'll see if we can get to 50. We're not halfway home yet today. Still not even that lap, 100 out of 267 so far. We made it further than the Texas race already, so that's good. I wonder how damaged this 12 car is, though, when it comes to him being on equal tires as the rest of the field. How much worse for wear is his car going to be in the handling department, in traffic when he's got older tires, as well as just speed overall. Obviously, he was fast enough to keep up with the leaders that last time. Does he still have that same race-winning speed? Really close, though, between Byron Harvick, Blaney, and Kyle Busch on who exactly has the fastest car. And with Larson getting up to second on that last restart, maybe even Larson's got a shot to win this thing still. And he's well below the cutoff line compared to those other drivers who are either already above or, in Byron's case, was only 1 point below coming in. Moves up to 36th.
Car right. All clear. Got one left. Car low. Clear all around. Car right.
Timmy Hill will be for position as well. Blaney up to 33rd now. Lifted a little bit. Washes into the outside line to get around Cody Ware for 32nd. And he's staying on the outside through turns 3 and 4 this time. Has to lift. Couldn't go full throttle that time as his tires have worn out just enough.
Got one left.
On the outside of his teammate Austin Cindric. There is quite a few cars a lap down right now. Looks like 30th is going to be the window for Blaney. Drove it in deep, had to ride the brakes going into the corner to keep it off the 38 car of Anthony Alfredo. Still clears him though with the pressure tires off the exit of turn 2. So Blaney up to 30th in the running order. He's the first car 1 lap down, but no free pass award is given in this game if caution comes out, or if he can't get the lap back before the end of the stage and he's the first car lap down. That doesn't matter, unfortunately, so Blaney's got to traditionally try to get his lap back.
One left.
Thought about going low, decided at the last second to go to the outside to get around Stenhouse, Chastain, and Custer. Clears them all off the exit of turn 2.
Clear, clear, clear.
Really close to that wall on corner entry into 3.
Stay right. Clear, clear. One left. All clear.
Second time through the field, Blaney's almost gotten into the top half already.
Clear, clear, clear.
I would not have expected 20-lap pressure tires to make this much of a difference. I mean, I would have expected a Kansas it to make some sort of a difference.
Still there.
Quite a bit more than what I was originally expecting.
All clear. 2 inside, you're 3 wide.
Into the outside of Chase Elliott through turns 3 and 4. Man, Elliott really was trying to side draft the 12 of Blaney that time.
Clear all around.
Either that or he was expecting Blaney to go all the way near the wall. He almost clipped him in the left rear. No contact made, though. Blaney back in the clean air into turn 1 as he cleared Newman in the tri-oval. Back to the outside to try and get as much clean air as possible. Massive run on Kurt Busch on the front stretch. 13th, 14th, 15th place cars right in front of him into turn 1.
Got one left. Clear, clear.
Gassing it up. They cleared to Benedetto. Almirola pulls up in front of him. Oh, tried to throw a block. Almirola didn't go all the way to the wall like Blaney was expecting him to, and Almirola came down to block Blaney off the exit of the corner. Blaney just got to the inside. Stayed in the gas too, so he kept the momentum up to pass Almirola on the backstretch. Didn't enter into the corner side by side. He was all clear before he got into turn 3. 25 laps into stage 2 right now. We've got 45 people watching, 25 likes. We've had over 50 watching at one point, so be sure to hit that like button again if you have not already, and if you have not already, as well as subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. It's the last NASCAR 21 Ignition stream this week. We'll have NASCAR 6 for the rest of the race
One left.
weekend for Friday and Saturday. He's got to run. McDowell, Keselowski side drafting each other. Blaney goes to the bottom. Keselowski clears McDowell. Blaney clears them both into turn 1. Byron back inside the top 10 as well as Keselowski now. Did not finish top 10 at the end of stage 1 after having a bad restart. Blowing the caution, probably a bad pit stop as well. Blaney trying to go full throttle through 3 and 4 right now. Not lifting all the way through the corner. He is pushing hard. 26 laps into the run. I don't think he's going to risk trying to do that again. Just to be safe. Burps the throttle just a little bit, 1 and 2. Nothing major, at least in the clean air he can afford to lift just a tad. He's made his way back into the top 10, at least of the cars that are still on the lead lap. And Blaney is 1 lap down. Oscar Ramirez Herrera, welcome into the stream. Byron closing on Reddick pretty quickly. Blaney to the outside of Byron. It's one of the cars he was battling with for the lead earlier. Kyle Busch up to 7th. It's definitely got through traffic quicker than the 24 car. Blaney to the inside of Dillon on the backstretch. Looks to pass him on the bottom lane into turns 3 and 4 and does. Kyle Busch make that up to 6 now rather than 7. I saw that episode of Hamlin on the Dale Jr. download. I heard he was on Door Bumper Clear this week as well. And stacking pennies. He's been everywhere this week.
Clear all around. Clear all around.
It's Ron Reddick on the outside. Clear off turn 4 with a clean pass. You can see the top 6 cars not too far out ahead of Ryan Blaney. Hamlin inside the top 5. And he closing on Busch. Looks low underneath Kyle into turn 1.
Clear, clear, clear.
Gets around him pretty quickly. Drags the brakes a little bit as he washes towards the outside. A little tight when the 48 car is right in front of him. Lenny going low now underneath Bowman into turns 3 and 4. Clears him, middle of the corner. Bowman doesn't have the tires to be able to cross Blaney back over. 32 laps into the stage, almost halfway through stage 2 already, and I'm expecting the rest of the field to pit very soon. Blaney's hoping he can get back in the lead lap before that, and he's really going to have to be relying on his pit crew to have a good stop. Oh, Denny Hamlin squeezes Blaney into the wall and wrecks him off the exit of turn 2. That was not Ryan Blaney's fault as he spins like a top and the caution finally comes out. Man, that was all Denny Hamlin's fault. I mean, 12 car was there the whole time off the exit of the corner, and Hamlin just squeezed him into the wall. Blaney can't pit for fuel or tires being involved in the accident. I don't know if he blew a tire or not. So we'll take right sides just to make sure again. Blaney didn't blow a tire. He may have. And everybody else on pit road. So right back in the same predicament Ryan Blaney was in stage 1. He's going to be in again here in stage 2. That is unbelievable. Playoff drama in Kansas tonight. Ryan Blaney 1 lap down as they head to the restart. Green flag back in the air at Kansas. Everybody's good on fuel to the end of the stage. Ryan Blaney, unfortunately, though, is not going to be good on fuel to the end of the stage. He's got more damage to his car than what he would have had even before. The sad part is about, calling it a choke job is the fact that it hasn't been my fault. Well, I mean, today the first wreck you could argue was just over-aggressive. Texas was not my fault 10 laps in, just getting turned by Joey Gaze. Fortunately, Blaney restarting at the very back of the field for some reason here. A lot of 2x2 action and a big checkup going into turn 1 in front of Blaney. He goes to the outside, 3 wide. They're checking up again in front of him. He got into the back of Stenhouse off turn 2.
Clear. 1 left. All clear.
Stenhouse nearly gets
Clear.
hooked off the front bumper of Truex that time. And Blaney into the back of Stenhouse and down into the infield grass he goes off turn 4.
Only a few laps till we
Blaney has no traction down there. Big slide for the 12 of Ryan Blaney. No caution. This is a frustrating night for this 12 team. Kevin Harvick still in the lead.
Only a few laps till we pit.
He got into the back of Stenhouse off the exit of turn 4, and then when he got into him, obviously he checked up the 12 car, and then Truex just got right in the left rear corner panel of him. And he's still 1 lap down on the track currently.
Only a few laps.
Nobody else is going to have to pit before the end of stage 2. They will have to pit probably around 20 laps into the final stage. Blaney's obviously going to end up having to lose another lap before the end of this stage yet whenever he decides to hit pit road again. Which he'll have to do at about lap 57 in this stage at the very latest.
Only a few laps till we pit.
Never say never. Not going to quit fighting. Going to keep trying to go off strategy from here to the end of the race. And maybe we'll get some cautions that aren't caused by the 12th car in a spin. But we know we're going to get at least one more caution with the stage break.
Only a few laps till we pit.
Blaney was very quick on fresh tires to start that last stage. You just wonder what exactly could go down in the final stage for him to try and gain as much track position as really possible. Too calm by this point. I've never thrown the controller on the channel. Throw it at the camera. Camera's my laptop. I can't do that. That's expensive. I don't have that kind of money to just break stuff. I take care of my things. Blaney's trying to wait this out at least a little bit so he can have a bit fresher tires by the time he pits compared to when everybody else did pit during that caution. That's kind of the plan here. Stay out a couple more laps. I'm going to stay out all the way to the end of the run, but trying to make up a little bit of time. The hope is that he is only 2 laps down at the end of stage 2. And then he'll pit during the stage break again for 4 fresh tires and try to get one of those laps back at the start of the stage like he did at the start of this last stage. He's in 34th right now. Which means everybody from 35th on back is 2 laps down. Every point is a position. Every position, I should say, is a point. Obviously, in the first 2 stages, the top 10 are the only ones that actually get stage points, but for place finishing positions. Well, I'm definitely frustrated. You guys just can't see it. I try to keep my cool as much as possible. Just in life in general, let alone... Here, I was more upset at Darlington, but I'm getting close. We're one more incident away from me maybe pulling to Darlington. It may not look like it, but... Conservative, welcome to the stream.
Okay, we have to pit next time out.
Didn't you ask this question during the live commentary stream the other day? So I know somebody asked me the question during the live commentary stream, like right after the race was over. Kind of gave my full answer already.
Okay, we have to pit next time out.
The only argument I've got is that he was involved in the accident itself. He got shoved there, so I would put it more the same situation as the Briscoe incident last year than Chastain's incident, where he got penalized. So Blaney is going to be into the pits this time. It'll be a 4-tire stop. 45 miles per hour is the pit road speed limit. He is down onto pit road speed. 4-tire stop for Ryan Blaney. This will put him right back to 2 laps down. The hope is that it's a fast enough pit stop that he won't go 3 down. Who knows? Maybe he makes the lap back up by the end of the stage. I doubt it. The leaders are already making their way back across the start-finish line as he just made it to his pit box midway down pit road. Yeah, he got forced into the grass. I will say, if there weren't other cars that also spun that he had to go below to miss, then I think he should have gotten the penalty like Briscoe did last year. That was the only difference between Briscoe's incident last year and his, was that Bubba going as low as he did in the grass was because there were other cars that were spun. And there is Kevin Harvick on the racetrack. Ryan Blaney is now 3 laps down. He's got time to get this lap back by the time he gets up to speed. But he's got to go quickly. Got plenty of room to pull back up on the racetrack into turns 3 and 4 this time. I think they placed him back in 10th on the restart, too. They didn't keep all of his positions, either. Which I didn't know at the time until after. Well, after the race. At the time, I didn't realize it. So they penalized him, but they didn't
Got one
put him
right,
at the
got
tail
one
end of the
right.
lead
Clear,
lap,
clear, clear.
which I think is fine because it wasn't his fault. He was involved in the accident. So Blaney 3 laps down, but he's got a little bit fresher tires by about maybe 10 laps, 15 at the very
Clear,
most.
clear, clear, clear.
He is working his way past the 6th place car of Byron. 25, maybe just less than that, laps to go in the stage. Only the top 5 ahead of Blaney currently. Should only be 2 laps down at the start of the stage, so we'll see if he can come back from 3 laps down to win this race. That would be something special. Shout out to Chris Buescher right now in that 17 car for Rush Fenway Racing, as of right now in the 5th place position. And he got on the brakes to keep it off the 11 of Hamlin. Remember, Hamlin is who wrecked Ryan Blaney. Blaney not going to even attempt to pay him back. He needs to just move on and try to race this car back up towards the front. Hamlin's not in the playoffs anymore, so it wouldn't be worth trying to wreck him anyway and cause a caution, which keeps Blaney 3 laps down. Probably restarts him at the rear of the field again.
Stay left.
Focus to get one of these 3 laps back before the end of the stage. Quickly got around Tyler Reddick that time. We get underneath Chase Elliott in the 9 car. He's up to 2nd. Kevin Harvick has dominated this race today. Logano won both stages in the race at Texas. Harvick's trying to do the same today at Kansas to lock himself into the championship 4. If he could just win the first 2 stages alone, he's already going to be ahead of Blaney on points mid-race. Blaney not getting any stage points today, just like he did at Texas, but obviously finishing last, he's hoping for more than 1 point for his place positioning. It's 1 point per position. Once you get up to 35th in the running order, you finally get 2 points. 36th on back gets 1. Harvick on the bottom, Blaney towards that middle to upper groove, a little bit more speed. Harvick going down to side draft Blaney as he got underneath him. Blaney clears Harvick, and he's now back to 2 laps down. So Blaney has gotten one of his 2 laps back before the end of this stage. He's faster than the leaders right now, but I don't think he's got enough laps left in this stage to get another lap back. I just don't think it's possible. But he is definitely going to be pitting during the stage break to take on fresher tires, try to get another lap back quickly. I'd imagine the rest of the field's going to stay out during the stage break. That's at least a hope for Ryan Blaney that that will be the case again. This may be the greatest comeback in NASCAR 21 history. On any NASCAR YouTuber's video game channel, or I don't consider this a video game channel, it's more of just a NASCAR channel, my personal opinion. Considering how well the live commentary live streams do, and those are the most viewed stream/videos on the channel. But regardless of the fact, it might be the greatest comeback in NASCAR 21 Ignition history at any of the NASCAR YouTubers' channels at this point, if Blaney could pull off these insurmountable odds. It's almost 3 full seconds ahead of Harvick already after passing him, and the tires are going to pull off on this 12 car. And again, he's only got maybe 10 lap pressure tires on him at the very most. When he pits at the stage break, he's going to have almost 40 lap pressure tires in the rest of the field. So he's definitely going to get a lap back, and the hope is hopefully get as close to being back on the lead lap as possible before everybody starts to pit again. Wherever Ryan Blaney ends up, he's got $5 million in a hot girl. You're not wrong, but for the sake of the fact that I am not actually Ryan Blaney, it's win or bust. I don't have $5 million or a hot girlfriend. He is pulling away from Harvick very quickly, I will say. Definitely have some passes for position at the back of the field again, but again, stage points only awarded to the top 10, so that probably won't matter anyway. About a second a lap faster, but that's not going to be quick enough with less than 20 to go on the stage. Still need about 24 more seconds to catch Harvick. Give you a recap of what happened in the last 25 minutes. Well, Denny Hamlin wrecked the 12 of Ryan Blaney. When Blaney was, at the time, only one lap down, Hamlin was in 4th. They were pretty close to seeing the rest of the field hit pit road for their only time in stage 2. Blaney was involved in the accident, couldn't pit for fuel or tires, everybody else did. So same exact predicament you saw if you were here in stage 1 when Blaney wrecked off the front bumper of lap car BJ McLeod when he was battling for the lead about 50 laps into the race. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. For a little while at least. In that essence, yeah, you did miss a lot. And he's still going full throttle. He catches the back of the pack right now.
All right. Clear, clear.
Passing some cars down on the bottom.
All clear.
He gets around Anthony Alfredo. He's got fresher tires than everybody else, so he was able to go from 3 laps down to 2 laps down. We'll pit for even fresher tires.
All right.
It looks like they're still 3 wide off the exit of turn 2 heading into 3 as Blaney hooks the bottom to get around Alfredo and Timmy Hill yet. I try to keep my calm for just, I don't know, self-sake of it, I guess. I don't like getting upset. I don't like confrontation. Not that kind of person. Very highly introverted in that aspect as well. That was a gutsy move.
You got 2 up top.
Look at that pass on Cody Ware. Big head of steam into turns 1 and 2 as Blaney rolls to the outside. Really hoping he doesn't get wrecked here. 62 car, not giving him a lot of room. He got into him. Just kept it off the wall, though. Similar to the Denny Hamlin
Still there.
issue. I think Custer and Blaney might have made contact that time as well. Still side by side as a result into turns
Got
1
one
and
right.
2.
Got one right.
Blaney gets around Custer. Really no benefit to Blaney racing around these guys right now because he's going to be 2 laps down to the end of the stage regardless. BJ McLeod, I think, is for position. Outside of that, there's no more positions to even be gained for Blaney's sake from now to the end of the stage either.
Got one left.
Gets to the outside of the 78 car.
Clear, clear.
Flatlines it into turns 1 and 2 to get around Quinn Houff. That is not for a spot. Houff would be the last car of those that are 1 lap down. And actually, never mind, that was for position. So Blaney to 34. You can't do that? I think a lot of people can't. I feel like a lot of people get agitated easy. That is definitely not me. Because I know, like, if I get mad, what good is that going to do? Like, it's not going to change anything. And if anything, like, if you're in a confrontation or argument with somebody, if you get mad in the middle of the argument, you're only going to make the person you're with more mad, too. So it's best to just kind of hang low. I'm one for listening to both sides of an argument. not one for just talking about things.
Stay right. Stay high. All clear.
I didn't do trivia yet. I'll look it up during the stage 2 break. I'll definitely look up the trivia during the stage 2 break for you guys. So we are just past the halfway mark. About 15 laps past it. We'll say, though, clean air, even with the damage of the 2 accidents for Ryan Blaney, aerodynamically, the car's still handling well. And also, in the speed department, aerodynamically, I'd say, it seems pretty well still. So, again, the plan for Blaney is to pit at stage end. So he has 40 lap pressure tires to start stage 2, assuming the rest of the field will stay out. Considering Blaney's 2 laps down, we've probably only got about 4 or 5 laps left in the stage as we run. Once the top 10 cross the start-finish line, that will conclude the stage. And I believe there are 30 cars on the lead lap so far today as well. Getting really tight on the bottom. I think he was just close enough behind Kurt Busch in front of him that he definitely caught some dirty air. Didn't go full throttle that time. Blaney down low underneath Kurt Busch, middle of the tri-oval.
Stay left.
Heading towards turn 1, gets around Busch, also gets underneath the 21. Matt DiBenedetto side by side
Car right.
with Matty D.
Got one right. All clear.
DiBenedetto went down the side draft to told Blaney just a bit there. Blaney will get around DiBenedetto. Bubba Wallace thought about crowding the 12 car a little bit as well. Blaney gets underneath him.
All clear.
Still side by side with the 23 car entering turn 1.
Clear, clear, clear.
Blaney clears him. Hops in line behind Kaz Grallo, who's having a good day in 20th. Blaney underneath Grallo that time. Well, bump draft down the backstretch too, as he tried to pull underneath Grallo, and then Grallo blocked him in the middle of the straightaway. Massive run coming for the 12 to the inside of the 14. Briscoe in 19th place currently. These guys not for position, though, that Blaney is passing. So must win at Martinsville. It depends what happens the rest of the night. We're not going to know the point standings exactly until the end of this race. Blaney muscles by Ryan Newman on the bottom that time. Just cleared in the middle of the corner and kept it off the wall off the exit of the corner as well. He's still passing cars. I mean, the fact that he only has about 10 lap fresher tires, it looks like he's got even fresher tires than that. Big slide job into 1 and 2 as he gets around Joey Logano. Logano gets into the left rear corner panel of the 12. And he'll have to cross Joey over into turns 3 and 4 again. Logano kind of battling Truex for position back there as well. So we have more laps left at the end of stage 2 than what I thought. Well, that was a big flat line into turns 1 and 2 that time for Blaney. Clipped the apron with the left side tires. Didn't get extremely loose, thankfully. I think the dirty air, the 34 car, kind of straightened him out just a little bit. Stage ends on the top 10, cross the start-finish line. Blaney slide jumps his way around Michael McDowell in the 34 now as well.
Pit road is closed.
And that will be the end of Stage 2. So we'll check out the Stage 2 results. Kevin Harvick wins Stage 2 just like he won Stage 1, so that will be the 5th stage win of the year for Harvick. Denny Hamlin finishes 2nd, Chase Elliott 3rd, Tyler Reddick in 4th. William Byron rounds out the top 5. Getting 6 stage points today. Kyle Larson, good day so far. Finishes 2nd in Stage 2 after finishing... finished 2nd in Stage 1. Finishes 6th, though, in Stage 2. Chris Buescher, 7th. Alex Bowman, 8th. Brad Keselowski gets a couple stage points tonight. Kyle Busch fell back to 10th there at the end of the stage, despite getting up as high as, I think, 6th at one point. He was leading at one point in the race earlier on as well. Blaney came close to leading. He was battling for the lead, but he never actually officially led a lap earlier in the day. So let me tally these stage points up real quick on my screen, and then we'll get the next stage underway. So again, 5th stage win of the year for Kevin Harvick. Blaney has a win at Daytona. If you're asking me for this season, I won the Daytona 500 actually, but I didn't win. I actually DNF'd the regular season finale at Daytona. Alright, so 1 point for Kyle Busch. Keselowski gets 2 points. Larson gets 1 point. Byron gets 6. Harvick gets 10. Alright. So on to pits.
Why are we passing under yellow?
I like the crew chief. Why are we passing under yellow? We're not, sir. I don't know what you're talking about. No adjustments to the 12th car this time. 4 tires of fuel will be the call. So as of right now, Kevin Harvick is the furthest ahead of the standings on points after the end of Stage 2. And as we run right now, Byron is ahead of Kyle Busch. Coming into the day, that was not the case. Byron is 4 points ahead of Busch going into the final stage. And Ryan Blaney went from 19 points above the cutoff line to 16 points above the cutoff line to start this stage. I didn't see if anybody else was on pit road. It doesn't look like there was anybody else on pit road during the stage break. I don't believe. Figured I'd check real quick. Alright, I got the chat back up again. Oh, I have to look up the trivia question too. Yeah, sorry about that. Hang on. Let me look up the trivia question. Alright. Yeah, give me a couple seconds to get this. I was going to have to pause it regardless of the fact. This will probably take me a real quick second, and I'll get that to you before we start Stage 3. Alright, I tried to pull up the quickest question I could, so it's kind of easier. Somebody, I think, will get it at some point in time. So the question to tonight's trivia is how many drivers have won from the front row at Kansas in the NASCAR Cup Series? So that will be tonight's question on the channel for trivia. Green flag is back in the air. We are getting this final stage underway. Again, how many drivers have won in the Cup Series at Kansas after starting on the front row?
Clear, clear, clear.
It's a good initial restart for Ryan Blaney. Clear off the exit of turn 2 as he's got cars in hot pursuit behind him entering turns 3 and 4. They may have pitted during the stage break. Chase Elliott will get to the lead. As soon as I see the first one to get the question correct, I will shout you guys out. Jerry Fasnap, thanks for tuning in. It's the first I've seen you in the chat today. Says 6. 19 is not the answer. Neither is 6. I think the rest of the field may have pit during the stage break, because Blaney is not really pulling away despite having fresher tires, or at least what seems to be fresher tires. This is interesting. They may have pit during the stage break. It's not 4, not 10, not 2. Not 3. Not 7. I was going to say, if you do start guessing, don't guess in numerical order. I will not count the answer if that is the case. You start spamming in numerical order, that is. Not 1, not 8. Not 7. Actually, kind of surprised I haven't seen it yet. It is 9. Fur Express has gotten the answer to today's trivia question. 9 drivers have won from the front row at Kansas in the NASCAR Cup Series. 7 from the pole and 2 from the outside pole. So I believe as we run right now, Ryan Blaney is the last car on the lead lap. And he's got the 9 of Chase Elliott breathing down his neck. Elliott not in the playoffs anymore, was eliminated in the round of 12 after a DNF while he had won stage 1 at the Roval. So again, Ryan Blaney should be one lap down. $55 to 57 laps means that it is only a one-stopper to the end of the race as well. But you wonder what the strategy is if you're Ryan Blaney, because really it seems as if the only chance you've got of hanging on to win this race is to go off strategy to the finish. It doesn't really seem as if he's lacking a lot of speed right now. Good battle for the lead going on between Elliott, Harvick, and Larson. Larson below the cutoff line by 24 points coming into the race. In dire need of a good run. About 14 points below William Byron. Excuse me. Up 14 points below William Byron going into the final stage alone. So Blaney has made up 2 of his 3 laps. Blaney's still in the playoffs as of right now, but he's not locked in real life at least. Go back to the far chase cam for now. But he's holding about a half a second ahead of Elliott. If we did get a caution, that would be timely for Ryan Blaney and his chances of getting back on the lead lap. I mean, he's there for now, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to hold on in front of Kyle Larson, who's now taking the lead away from Elliott. Larson is still winless this season in what is now the 34th race of the year. He is trying to win his first race of the season, but it would be a race in which he would go to the championship 4 if he wins today. when does Ryan Blaney pull the trigger and hit pit road, potentially making this a two-stop race to the finish rather than a one-stop race. Because he's going to have to go off strategy if he's going to want any sort of a shot to try to make this lap up, considering he's almost a full lap behind. He's definitely not going to win without a caution. How's Larson winless? I don't know. He just hasn't won. We've had 13 different winners that all got into the playoffs for chip wins. We haven't had any non-playoff drivers win a playoff race yet. Hey, he's only got one win in real life. But he's been super consistent in real life as he has this season, which is why he is where he's at right now, still the shot at the championship 4. Kevin Harvick, though, up to second, finally getting around Kevin Harvick that last lap. Harvick won the first 2 stages, trying to win the race to go to the championship 4 himself. It'll be a good battle between the 5 and the 4. It could be like Hemrick last year. The only difference is this is Cup, and Larson's got a shot to win today, which is before the final race of the season. I'd say Blaney's having a Hemrick-like season from last year so far. Blaney getting as close to that wall as possible, staying full throttle, looking for all the straightaway speed necessary to try and stay in front of the cars behind him. He's got a fast enough car and equal tires to be with the leaders. He is proving that right now. But he's the last car on the lead lap at the tail end of the lead lap field. I don't think we're going to see a caution for incident today. We've only had 2, 1 in each stage, plus 2 stage cautions, which have equated to the 4 cautions total in today's race. He can definitely catch the back of the field and get some sort of positions towards the end of this race, even if he goes on one-stop strategy, but chances of winning are definitely not going to be there. Blaney does not want to go below the cutoff line into Martinsville. And that will be next week on the channel. Got Michigan for the rest of the weekend on the channel. Plan on dropping some videos hyping up the Michigan race this week, as well as a couple live streams over the next couple days. NASCAR 06 tomorrow night and on Saturday night at Michigan. And tomorrow night we will run the NASCAR Cup Series race at Michigan, which will start at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Regular season race there, and then we'll run the Busch Series race on Saturday night at Michigan as well. Harvick only about a half a second behind Kyle Larson. "20 laps into stage 1 this time by. Plenty really close to the wall off turn 4 as well. Still going full throttle with the clean air advantage right now. Again, when do you plan on pitting if you are Ryan Blaney to go on a 2-stop strategy to the finish? We saw tires matter quite a bit back at the start of stage 2. He had 20 lap pressure tires to start that stage. Made up almost a full 2 laps at about a 40-lap stretch. He's also knowing that he's going to have to stay out a little bit on old tires himself for the hope of hitting for fresh tires versus the rest of the field twice. And obviously on equal tires to start the stage with everybody pitting during the stage break. He's slowly pulling away from Larson right now. Harvick's still only half a second behind the 5 car. Well, he's lifting in the middle of 1 and 2. He felt like the car might have gotten into the wall that time if he didn't. See a couple cars at the very tail end of the field right now. Point in the run where these cars maybe getting just a little tight. And Blaney into the wall off turn 4. Tried to stay full throttle that time. It did not work. It's going to cost him a lot of momentum on the front stretch. Back to full throttle through 1 and 2 with a lot of his time being cut off that last time off the exit of turn 4. Larson about a half a second quicker on the front stretch that time than Blaney, and Blaney luckily did not blow a tire. Definitely looking at making an adjustment change right now if you're Blaney as well. Try to get the car a little bit looser, more so for the longer run. Definitely feels he's starting to get tighter 25 laps into the run right now as he's barely having to lift in the middle of the corner. Especially to keep the car on the outside lane. Still managing that gap over Larson, at least for the time being. Loose is fast if he can hang on to it. Plan is going to be to take a round and a half of wedge out of the car. So Blaney's crew will take a round and a half of wedge out of the race car. And his plan is going to be to pit at lap 30. So Blaney will stay out. He will pit at lap 30 unless Larson gets around him before that. And that should be about the time the leaders are going to catch lap traffic where Blaney wouldn't be in clean air anymore as well. It'll also be a wise move to probably pit then as well. So it's going to be a 2-stop strategy in the final stage for Blaney. 1 stop for the rest of the field. He's going to have to make up nearly a full lap. He was 3 laps down at one point just to get back on the lead lap where he's at now. He's going to have to go off strategy even more if he's going to want to win. And you know what? I've been saying that I've been on the lead lap. I actually think I'm 1 lap down, not on the lead lap. Now that I'm thinking about it. Because Blaney was 2 laps down at the end of stage 2 anyway, so even getting to... Yeah, never mind. I'm not even on the lead lap. I'm still 1 lap down. Means everybody pitted during the stage break. I wasn't expecting them to. So Blaney is 1 lap down right now. Almost a full 2 laps down, considering Larson's not far behind him. So my bad on that. I'm kind of misleading you guys. I mean, I could be wrong. I hope I am, but I'm thinking I'm 1 down. Kind of do my math wrong in my head. And really tight that time in turns 3 and 4. Lift it just a little bit more. He will pit this time by. Catch his first lap car of Josh Bilicki in the 52 this time. Go to the outside into turns 1 and 2 still. Bilicki in that middle lane.
Stay right. Stay
Hoping
right.
Bilicki's going to give Blaney enough room off the exit of the corner. He does.
Clear, clear.
Well, he pulled up right in front of Kyle Larson. Blaney on the outside through turns 3 and 4. And he's working his way down the track. Blaney going to pit this time. Can't speed. He did not. 45 miles an hour is the speed limit. He is on pit road. 4 tires and fuel for Ryan Blaney. It's a 2-stop strategy in the final stage. Battle for the final spots going into Martinsville. Yeah, well, hopefully I can get out of here at least gaining some track position, even if I can't get back to the lead in this one. Consider we're 1 lap down, and I think everybody for 30th on up or 29th on up is on the lead lap right now. Top 29 are on the lead lap. So hopefully Blaney's car is not going to be too loose on the short run with this wedge adjustment. Again, a round and a half of wedge coming out of the race car. And he also has to hope that this race stays green because he's putting himself probably 3 laps down again with him pitting right now. And he try not to spin either. So he's working himself right back up to speed again. Down on the apron of the racetrack. He's got 30 lap fresher tires than the rest of the field right now. He has 3 laps down once again with him pitting right there. But the goal is to make up on these fresher tires. Temperature is 69 degrees if I remember for the start of this race. Still a little bit cooler, but the sun is out also. Probably counterbalancing that a little bit. NASCAR HMS fan, welcome into the stream.
Got one right. Clear, clear.
He blows around Chastain. Definitely able to go full throttle again with the fresher tires.
All clear.
He's able to run the bottom lane a lot easier also with the fresher tires. More so with the wedge adjustment, allowing him to run the bottom a little easier. Entered low, kept it low that time. Need to have the AI pit now? No, I'm expecting them to only pit once anyway. Blaney making contact with McDowell. Luckily that did not spin the 12 car out. I'm surprised considering there's no stability help and his car's a bit looser. With that wedge adjustment. Blaney definitely drove it in deep. 34 crowded him just a bit. Blaney powering around. Eric Almirola on the outside. I'll say the car got a little bit looser on the outside that time too. I don't feel like the car's as fast on the short run with this setup. I know I'm still blowing around cars, but it feels like it could be a little bit quicker. Like the rear tires are maybe spinning a little too much, and with going 100% throttle all the way around the track in the short run. But again, the hope is that the long run speed doesn't fade as much when you consider the fact that Blaney's going to have a little bit fresher tires. He lifts just a bit off turn 4. He was expecting Joey Logano to move up, which he did. Allowed for Blaney to cut down to the bottom with his looser race car. Now go to the top to get around Truex full throttle through 1 and 2 this time.
Clear, clear, clear.
The idea is that Blaney gets back to being 1 lap down again before the rest of the field pits, is the hope.
Stay left.
That is the game plan. And obviously it needs to stay green at least until everybody cycles through
Clear,
pit
clear,
stops.
clear.
Chase Elliott falling back to 5th after initially getting the lead on the restart. Leader's still dealing
Clear all around.
with lap traffic right now as well. You got Ron Busher on the inside, Elliott on the outside. One on entrance into turn 3 and one off the exit of turn 4. I'm expecting everybody else to at least go to lap 55 to 57 before they pit. That is the window for Blaney. They may go a little bit longer because it seems like the AI could go a bit longer up fuel than you can in this game. You meaning us, the drivers. Blaney down on the bottom. Around Keselowski, Timmy Hill. He was backing out of the gas early. He knew at least Hill or Haley was going to move down. Luckily, it was Haley rather than Hill because Blaney was already underneath Hill. Keselowski in 4th, by the way, trying to get around both drivers. Harvick is back to 3rd. Kyle Busch up to 2nd. Which means Kyle Larson is still the leader, and he has really pulled away from both Harvick and Larson in lap traffic. Larson seemingly getting through it pretty well right now. Not so much the case for everybody else. Blaney on the pressure tires. He entered really hard into the corner. Blaney has to lift off turn 4 to keep it off the back of James Davison. That's going to cost him a lot of time with them being on much pressure tires right now. But he knew that that was not going to be worth the risk that time. He'll go 3 wide into 1 and 2, but that's because he knows he'll be able to clear both Busch and Halp off the exit of turn 2, which he does. He's going to have 0 chance to do that. And there's a lot more lap traffic around Larson right now as well. 5 more lap cars right in front of the 5. He just got around Busch off turn 2. And in about a half a lap, he put 1 second on Kyle Busch, who would have been in clean air and in the 2nd place car. Blaney full throttle through turns 1 and 2, side-by-side lap traffic in front of Larson. Blaney's got the speed to get around Larson. He gets one of his laps back there, pulls down to the bottom, gonna get around Cindric, keeps it full throttle, lifts just a bit as he entered really flat into the corner, so that way he doesn't lose control off 4th, how loose the car is, as he gets around Anthony Alfredo. Weather expert, welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're talking about my strategy not being stupid and everybody else's. The only reason I did it is because I was lapped down at 33rd anyway. I had to do something different. Or we were probably going to finish as high. We probably, on that strategy, would have still finished 30th. But that would have been our ceiling. At least Blaney's got a shot to finish higher. Even if he can't get the win out of this, I do think there's a better chance that he is at least going to crack the top 20. And again, every position's worth a point. If he doesn't win Martinsville, he's going to need all the points he can get. Came into the final stage alone just 16 points ahead of Kyle Busch, who would have been below the cutoff line, and Busch is in 2nd right now. So if he doesn't win, well, if Larson wins, though, that moves the cutoff line, so then Blaney would actually be the last guy in, and that would probably bump him out as long as Byron's still in the top 10 as well. So Blaney might actually be below the cutoff line going into Martinsville the way things are running right now. If Larson wins, who is below the cutoff line, Harvick was already ahead of Blaney going into this stage off of points with him winning the first 2 stages of the race. Stage points for both Byron and Kyle Busch as well, and Busch is in P2, and Byron, the last we saw, was in, what, like 6th or 7th? The point standings you see at the top of the screen was based off of the last race at Texas. It has not accumulated the stage points of today's race, so that was coming into the race today, and where those specific 8 drivers were on points, or I guess 7 considering, again, Logano's locked in. And he's already gotten around the 21st place car. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And at least another 10 to 12 laps yet before the leaders pit.
Stay left. All clear.
The best thing for Blaney is if it cycles all the way through. then a caution comes out after he gets his lap back, because I think it's pretty much guaranteed he's going to get back on the lead lap with this strategy.
Stay right.
Just gets to the outside of Bell, barely kept it off the wall as well. That was close. Hamilton's falling all the way back to 17th. He was in 4th place on that restart. I think he was 4th at the end of stage 2. It was Hamlin who wrecked Blaney off turn 2 late in the 2nd stage, who put him back to 3 laps down. Blaney is 2 laps down as we run. He's got one of his laps back on these fresher tires. Down low, gonna get around Hamlin into turns 1 and 2. Rockets past Ross Chastain as well. He lifted early going into the corner, despite still rocketing past Chastain on the fresher tires that kept him from lifting off the exit. It was kind of an interesting way to make that slide job pass. Got to the bottom underneath Briscoe. Gets to the outside in turns 3 and 4. Oh, we got a car pitting. Michael McDowell on his way in. So McDowell trying to pit a little early this time.
Car right. Clear all around. Clear all
Just
around.
cleared Balicki before sending it off into the corner. It's around Reddick, who's in 11th. So we're actually seeing other cars pit a lot earlier into this stage compared to what they did in the first 2 stages. He just burped the throttle behind Alvarola.
All clear.
Alvarola running the outside that time. Having a quiet, solid day in the top 10 is Eric. Wade Solinsky, welcome to the stream. I'm doing good today. Hopefully you are too. We're 2 hours into today's Cup race on the channel. He's still running the outside, full throttle. 21 laps on his tires right now. Only seen a few cars hit pit road. The cars pitting now are not going to be able to make it to the end on fuel. Well, I guess they pitted at lap 50. I think they would be able to make it. They'd have to go the full 57 laps, so they pitted as soon as the window opened to the end. By the way, that pass on Timmy Hill was for position. I believe the leaders are all in this mess of lap cars up here. At least some of the top 10 and top 5 cars are. So Blaney might be able to get back to 1 lap down before the leaders hit pit road, which would be ideal, considering Blaney has already made 1 of his 2 stops. Horsepower Racing, welcome to the stream. Packers, you're the second person. Second person tonight to mention bad things about my t-shirt. Plenty up high. This is in case cars pit down low as well. Oh, just into the wall. He could get off the wall once he hit it, too. He was glued despite being out of the gas all the way through 3 and 4. Luckily, he didn't blow a tire, though. One car coming out of the pits up ahead. BJ, Brendan Gaughan just squeezed Blaney into the wall. He has wrecked the 12 car. Blaney sliding across the racetrack. No caution. Spins out again. Caution's out.
Wrecking. Yellow's out.
Brendan Gaughan has just wrecked Ryan Blaney. And he has now trapped him 2 laps down. The risk of short pitting and being involved in an accident, but that was nothing of Blaney's fault. Second time today he's been squeezed into the wall of turn 2. First it was Hamlin back in the first stage when he was 1 lap down, and now he's 2 laps down. I'm pitting for fuel and tires here because we're within the window to make it to the end. And everybody else is on pit road too, so this is going to be the final stop of the race. That is unbelievable. Second time contact with the lap car outside the top 30 has caused Ryan Blaney to wreck today. It looked like that strategy was finally starting to play out. He just got squeezed. Green flag back in the air. Blaney is 2 laps down in 33rd. And everybody's going to be good on fuel to the end of the race right now as we have exactly 58 laps to go. Well, okay, 58 to go means that Blaney is probably a lap short on fuel. Maybe the rest of the field is too. That's going to be interesting. A lap short right now, at least by my calculations. So Blaney's car still has a setup change in it, and he is going for it. 3 wide up high. Stenhouse almost got into the back of him.
Stay right. 3 wide. 2 down there. Clear all around. Clear all around.
Blaney trying to get down to the bottom off turn 2. A lot of slower cars up there. Timmy Hill down on the bottom as well.
3 wide. 2 outside.
3 wide into turn 3 for Blaney.
Got 2 up top. Still there.
Lifted a little extra to make sure he was going to give Hamlin enough room in the middle.
Got 1 right. Clear all around.
And he's going to try to get back up to the outside for turn number 1, and he will.
Stay right. All clear.
And he'll stay wide on the backstretch.
3 wide. 2 down there.
3 wide up high.
3 wide. You're up top. Got 1 left. Clear, clear. 1 left. 1 left. Still next to you. Still
Byron got a
next to
push
you.
from
All
Blaney
clear.
and then tried to cut low underneath
All
of
low.
Ryan Newman.
Stay right. Clear, clear.
Newman gives Blaney a little bit of room. Nathan Elliott, welcome to the stream. It's a shame because Blaney's got such a fast race car there. 2 and 3 wide.
3 wide.
Entering turn
You're
1 up ahead. Still a couple of slower cars on the outside lane. Cody Ware,
3 wide. You're up top.
Austin Cindric. Blaney continuing to pick up spots right now.
Clear, clear, clear.
Oh, wow, a little contact. Chastain and Bell. Chastain running the 20 car down the track a little bit off the exit of turn 2. Blaney up on the outside, gets around Cody Ware. May get to the outside of his teammate Cindric. He does. Stays in the gas full throttle. Now on the outside of Suarez. His teammate Keselowski.
Clear, clear, clear. Stay right, stay right. Clear, clear, clear.
Into the back of De Benedetto.
2 on the outside. You're 3.
That really stalled the 12 car out quite a bit.
Clear, clear.
He had a massive run that pushes the 21 by the 38.
3 wide middle. 1 left.
Now he's stalled out behind the 2 of Keselowski. Kyle Busch trying to get back up through the field. Busch is actually the leader right now.
3 wide. You're up top.
I'm confused with the running order currently.
3 wide. 2
3
down there.
wide off
Got
turn
1 left.
2. Kyle Busch down low.
All right, hold your line. All right, hold your line.
Ryan
Clear,
Blaney
clear.
trying to get a lap back on Busch currently. They're going to split Anthony Alfredo potentially. Alfredo pulls down to the bottom right in front of Kyle Busch. That's going to help Blaney out. Blaney battling Alfredo for 30th. Potentially one more pit stop for the rest of the field to the end of this race as of right now.
1 left. Still inside. Still there. Clear all around. 3 wide. 2 down there.
Turns 3 and 4. LaJoy down low to block Bell. Blaney on the outside of LaJoy. Gets around him, clears him in the tri-oval.
Stay right. Stay right. Clear all around. Stay right. All right, keep it high. All right, keep
Also,
it high. Clear, clear.
I'm very confused. There's not many cars on the lead lap. Kyle Busch is in first, but Chase Elliott's in third. DiBenedetto's fourth, and they're in front of Busch right now. Very confusing. I have a feeling the game trapped Blaney another lap down during that caution, because it seems to have trapped a lot of the field a lap down, other than the leader. Kevin Harvick's back to 25th. Larson at 24th. I really have no clue what has happened to the running order right now and why Harvick and Larson have fallen a lap down. It looks like 2 laps down. And if they're 2 laps down, then that means Ryan Blaney is 3 down. The reason why I say they're 2 down is because you got Austin Dillon in second, Chase Elliott third, Matt DiBenedetto fourth. They're ahead of Busch, but they're probably on the lead lap, but at the tail end of it, which would mean that the other cars like Harvick and Larson are 1 lap down, but Busch is not far behind him, which would put Blaney currently 2 down, even though he should only be 1 lap down where he's at. So the running order really got scrambled after that last caution due to a game glitch. Marky Mark, welcome into the stream. Frame rate this bad on PS4? No, just this game. Doesn't give content creators a chance to change it either, like in a lot of other games for whatever reason. Blaney's just got to kind of hope that he can catch the back of the field before the end of this race, try to get more passes per position. So this glitch has really worked out in Kyle Busch's favor. Now, Kyle Busch was in second when the caution came out anyway, so he would have had a shot to win regardless. But for Kyle Larson and Kevin Harvick's sake, they're not going to have as good of a finish as what it was originally looking like, which in return is actually going to help Ryan Blaney out. I mean, Harvick's already ahead of him in points going into the final stage, so he's going to be behind him regardless, especially considering behind him in the running order. He's 2 seconds ahead of Harvick right now, but he's not going to make up a full lap on him and catch him without a caution. CK1998, welcome to the stream. And Blaney in the wall, 3 and 4. Blaney's got to be careful he doesn't blow another tire before the end of the race. Could be potential fuel mileage race. I mean, there's 58 laps to go in the restart for Blaney, but that might be because he was a couple laps down. And 55 to 57 laps is the window, so it'll be interesting if everybody can make it or not. Think how good this race could have been with all the glitches. Back at about lap 50, we had a 4-car battle for the lead going on for about a good 5 to 10 laps. One of the best races this game really has to offer. Especially a 550 package and with no stability help on. It was a lot of fun, but that ended really quickly. Or we got to enjoy it to its fullest potential. Ryan Blaney closing in right now on Chase Elliott. They'll look to the inside of Elliott into turn 1. Chase in third. If only he didn't DNF at the Roval, would have made it into this round of the playoffs. I think he definitely would have pointed his way in. And Larson, who was in the lead when that caution came out, but has gotten trapped. It looked like 2 laps down on the restart, unfortunately, with the caution for whatever reason. Is not going to break his winless streak this season, and he'll stay winless going into Martinsville. It's not one of his better tracks. He's going to be close to the cutoff line. He's ahead of some of the guys he needs to beat, but Kyle Busch, the last driver above the cutoff line coming into the race today with a win for him. Going to push Blaney a little bit below, obviously. As well as Harvick with both 25th or worse.
Still next to you.
He was on the
Clear.
inside of Larson, still there, side by side.
Car right. Clear, clear.
Into turn one, a little
Clear,
slide
clear.
job incoming for Blaney. Still have to put a fantasy football team together. Yeah, I haven't had my draft yet. My draft isn't until the end of August. Same weekend as the Daytona regular season finale. Unfortunately, it's that Saturday night, so I can't do live commentary of the race. I can do live commentary of Daytona if it gets postponed to Sunday for rain, which I'm secretly hoping for, so I can. I'll be able to watch it while I'm doing the fantasy football draft. That's what I've done the last 2 years. I think the 28th is the day, if I remember correctly. 28th or 29th, whatever that Saturday night is. Last Saturday of August. Three cars on the lead lap. Busch has the speed to definitely get around Elliott and Dillon. I don't know how that happened, though. There's no logic. Like, even, like, broken game logic that could state why Kyle Busch is a lap ahead of the field. When everybody pitted during that last pit stop under caution. And Busch wasn't even the leader when the caution came out. Kyle Larson was. So, it's like, why did Larson get trapped 2 laps down when he was leading?
Clear all around.
Busch, who was in second, is now the leader, and he's a full lap ahead of second place. At least on the restart, Dillon and Elliott unlapped each other originally, but now Busch is closing in. Then he clears Dillon through 3 and 4, so he's got clean air in front of him now. Just a really weird race all of a sudden. That was, by the way, the 5th caution of the day. This is the 27th, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in despite all the glitchiness that this game has had to offer tonight with the scoring error, with that last caution, and other stuff that's gone on. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you haven't already. Trudging it out to the finish. If you stay here for, I guess, a miniature post-race show, I'll update the point standings live on the stream and give you guys the update of exactly what the point standings will look like going into the next race. It is still a fuel mileage race, so to the end of this one, we are not sure if everybody can make it on fuel to the finish. So we may see some cars pitting, which could shake the running order up even more here towards the finish, and you wonder if Kyle Busch can still finish a full lap ahead of everybody else, considering they're all going to have one less lap to run if they finish a lap down. So it'll definitely be interesting. Wade, you gonna be there all day for the Xfinity race on Saturday too? I think ARCA might be racing there this weekend. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I know Xfinity definitely is. Trucks are off this weekend completely. They're off until Richmond the following weekend. If anybody else is gonna be there, if you see me, say hi. I'll only be there on Sunday. I'll be there most of the day on Sunday. I'll definitely be diecast hunting. Be a good place to find me throughout the course of the late morning hours into the early afternoon. I mean, I kind of figured. My fantasy league's a little different compared to most leagues on like how scoring is, so our draft is usually weird. Like if I do any mock drafts, I basically just do that to refresh all the off-season moves. So there's usually so many of them, especially when you go a little bit lower on the depth chart. That's really the only reason I do mock drafts, or at least look up, you know, who all plays for who going into that next season. Not sure what day our Martinsville Cup race is going to be on the channel next week for NASCAR 21 Ignition. Expect it to be wild if we can even make it all 500 laps. Definitely not a situation Ryan Blaney wanted to be in, especially with a DNF and a last place finish with no stage points at Texas, and no stage points today at Kansas, and as of right now he is in 30th. This literally could not have been much of a worse start to the round of 8 for Ryan Blaney, and he is going to be right at, if not below, the cutoff line going into Martinsville. May not have to win the race, but he's going to have to be right up there. Make contention for it if he's going to make it into the championship 4. And we'll have stability help on for the Martinsville race. But on that tight of a paperclip track on this game, we'll have to see. He's going to have to be patient in the early going. It's going to be important to get stage points. So he's going to have to really qualify well. But everything else that kind of goes into it to the end, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Really like 8:30. I mean, I figured you'd be there on Sunday. I was looking at the chat. A little too long there. Mistake because of it. Still about a full second ahead of Dylan. Again, not for position. So hoping he can catch the 29th place car, whoever that is. Not up in the running order yet. $34 likes on the stream so far. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you have not already. Kyle Busch out in front looking for his 3rd win of the season. And he would be the 2nd driver to lock himself into the championship 4 alongside Joey Logano, who won at Texas in the 1st race of the round. Busch won at Kansas earlier this season as well, so it would be a sweep at this racetrack for him if he goes on to win. Ryan Blaney just hoping he could pick up maybe another point or 2 before the end of this race. So McDowell's in 26th. I'm not sure who would 27th or 29th yet on the grid that potentially Blaney could catch before the end. Kyle Busch has just gotten around Larson, putting him 2 laps down again. Busch is definitely the fastest car on the racetrack right now. He's only a full lap ahead of 2nd due to the scoring error during that 5th and most recent caution we had. Still fuel mileage race to the end. You wonder if Busch is burning more fuel as well. How fast he is running in comparison to the rest of the field. We'll have to go 1 more lap than everybody else with him being a lap ahead.
Only a few laps until we pit.
We don't even know that Ryan Blaney can necessarily make it to the end on fuel. 55 to 57 laps is the window. I mean, he could lose more positions yet, which would be even more catastrophic. As of right now, he gets 7 points for his finish in 30th. So if more cars run out of fuel, he can pick up some extra points. Maybe luck into a top 10. Full lap behind Dylan. I don't think he'll catch Kyle Busch if Busch has to pit to the end of the race. But ideally, he should be able to catch everybody else if they run out. If they run out, then there's a good chance he's going to run out.
Only a few laps.
10 laps to go for Kyle Busch. Probably 9 laps left now. That time by at the line. He's currently trying to get around Austin Dillon to put him a full lap down as he's right behind him through turns 1 and 2. Running out of the gas so long. Still ended up in the wall off of turn 4.
Time, be ready. Hit pit road in a few laps.
It's got a little too tight. By the way, Busch did get around Dillon. Oh, big block in the middle of the tri-oval. Almost ran into the side of one another. Aggressive block by Kyle Busch on Austin Dillon. Kyle Busch only 1.5 seconds behind Ryan Blaney right now. Say the setup definitely helped Blaney, but never really had a chance to showcase it.
We got about 5 laps of fuel left.
I saw that coming. Blaney in the wall again.
We got about 5 laps of fuel left.
Oh, I accidentally downshifted off turn 2. Pressed the wrong button. I was trying to change the camera angle again. And Kyle Busch has really ran Ryan Blaney down through turns 3 and 4. 18 all over the back of the 12 at the start-finish line. Blaney up high. Just kept it off the wall through turns 1 and 2. Kyle Busch down low. Side drafts the 12 off the exit of turn 2, side by side with the leader. Blaney about to go 3 laps down again. Even though he shouldn't be 3 down, he should be 1 going on 2 down. But Kyle Busch will pass him and clear him off turn 4 regardless.
We'll be pitting in about 5 laps.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you where my seats are at this weekend. I'm all for, if you guys want to meet up or whatever, but I don't want to just explore on the internet where exactly my seats are every race I go to. I usually try to sit about as high as I can, though. Front stretch wise. It's close to start finish line as I could possibly get at the time we purchased the tickets. It pretty much goes for about every track. Road courses can vary only because you can't really see the whole track at a road course unless you're at the Roval or some sort of a built-in infield road course. Like the Roval. Indianapolis not so much, but that's because of the pagoda and everything else in the infield. You can't really see from the front stretch seats all the way across the back. 2 laps to go at the line for Kyle Busch. Can he make it on fuel to the end of this race? I'll make that one more lap. Never mind. Final lap in the air. Final lap of the race. I mean, Kyle Busch is a full lap ahead of second. He is definitely going to be able to make it. I guess this refrains Blaney from having to do yet an extra lap. So it looked like he only had to go 54 laps on a full tank of fuel. Drove it really deep down to the bottom. Just trying to get back, though, around Busch. Not going to be able to do it. He was too far back. Checker flag in the air. And Kyle Busch is going to win at Kansas, and he will advance into the championship 4. Not a dominating race by any means, but Kyle Busch will win today at Kansas. And he is in the next round. Unbelievable. Pulling off the Kansas sweep today. Blaney was the last of the 8 drivers in this round as far as his finishing order in each of the first 2 races now. So he's definitely not going to have any sort of tiebreaker going into Martinsville unless he has a good finish there, which could hurt because the tiebreaker is the best finish in the round. 1 car, finish of the lead lap, that was Kyle Busch. But if you look at everybody that finished 1 lap down, just know that they finished a lap down because of a game glitch, and that last caution came out and trapped them a lap down. And some of the cars that are shown 2 laps down were also only 1 lap down, like Larson, who was leading when the last caution came out, finished 24th. Harvick 25th. Blaney finished 3 laps down. He probably should have finished 2 down with that caution, which could have potentially gotten him up as high as 24th. And it didn't really, well, I guess 26th, considering Harvick and Larson were not where they end up finishing. So it really randomized the running order in a pretty terrible way. But anyway, your top finishers today have Kyle Busch winning, Austin Dillon in second, Chase Elliott third, Brad Keselowski, Ford picks up a lot of points today, considering he was 40 below the cutoff line coming in, finishes fourth, got stage points, I believe in both stages too. Well, no, just stage 2 he got stage points. William Byron ends up finishing in 5th, Matt Benedetto in 6th, Christopher Bell 7th, Tyler Reddick 8th, Alex Bowman 9th, Joey Logano rounds out the top 10. Other playoff drivers inside the top 10 would have been Byron in 5th, who came in 1 point below Busch, and Busch won. So Byron then has to catch Harvick and Blaney. Harvick is ahead of Blaney after today's race. I think Byron might as well. Again, stay tuned. I will have the points ready to read off to you guys as soon as I tally it up when we go through the rest of the finishing results. Other playoff drivers outside the top 10 would include Truex finishing in 12th, Kyle Larson finishing 24th, Kevin Harvick in 25th, Ryan Blaney 30th. So 4 inside the top 10 and 4 outside the top 10 at the end of the race. And I need to get my phone out, take a picture of the finish here. Yeah, that was not a good race for me. That's 2 in a row that have not been good for me, unfortunately. Alright, well, time to tally the points up. Definitely stay tuned. I don't know why I did that. Oh, there we go. So Ryan Blaney would have only gotten 7 points for the finishing position. Gives me 40-83. Harvick finished 25th. Gives him 12 points for his finishing position. Kyle Busch won. He's in the next round. Kyle Larson, who scored quite a few stage points today, finished 2nd and 6th in both stages. Finished 24th in the race. Came in 24 points below the cutoff line. Closed in on Blaney, but not on Harvick. Well, he might have... No, Harvick won both stages, so he lost a little bit to Harvick, and Busch won. Obviously, he didn't close on him. And Byron, I think he would have closed on if he would have had a better finish, but Byron getting the top 5 and stage points today. Larson only got pretty much just the stage points. Not a good finish that costed him, so he only gets 13 points for finishing position. overall would give him 40-63. Keselowski, as mentioned, finished in 4th, so he gets 33 points for his finishing position. Truex finished 12th. I think Truex is going to be last of everybody on this list. William Byron gets 32 points. Just got to organize this now, and then I'll read it off to you guys. See what the chat's saying right now. I gotta get the chat back up here. Just follow me on Instagram. No, oh, that was my bad. Yeah, definitely follow me on Instagram too. I think we are at like right around 100 followers. Well behind the YouTube channel. I don't promote the Instagram enough on the channel. I don't use it that much either, but Kyle is good for Phoenix. Busch, yes. Larson as well. I mean, he won there in real life last year. I mean, Logano has a win there as well. Those are both drivers that can definitely go out and win that Phoenix championship race. So Harvick is definitely the highest on points right now. It looks, I don't have the full tally up yet, but we are going to be below the cutoff line going into Martinsville, unfortunately. And it is a tight battle at that. We're not too far below the cutoff line. We can definitely point our way in. But it's going to be tight with William Byron, Kevin Harvick. Especially Byron. And especially if somebody below the cutoff line wins. Because if somebody below the cutoff line wins, then we're going to have to beat Harvick and Byron on points. That means we literally have to be the only driver to get in on points. Which, thank goodness, I had 60 playoff points coming into the round. Because otherwise, if I didn't, that would have been pretty brutal. That regular season championship is really helping out Joey Logano as well to get to the... Well, granted, he won a race in the round of 16. He didn't win one in the round of 12, and then he won one in the round of 8. So I guess regular season championship didn't really matter too much for Logano's sake. Just finishing tallying the points yet. There's really only one driver that actually lost points on the cutoff line today. That was already outside. Alright, so I will go full screen with this so you guys can see what I'm seeing. So I'll get the game off the screen. I'll keep my camera on here. I'll move the camera down towards the bottom right so you guys can see the leaderboard. I'll take the top of the screen graphics off as well. Alright, so you guys will get to see my Google Docs page, potentially. Okay, well, it looks like we're going to have to turn my camera off, it looks like. Never mind, I'll have to turn my camera off. My display capture is not working for some reason. It's still not working. Well, never mind. We might not be able to physically show you guys. I could put it at the top of the scrolling screen, I guess. But that would take me a little bit longer to update again. Come on. No, it's not working. I don't know why. You'll have to let me know in the chat if it's working. I don't think it is. Let me get the chat on my phone, so this might be a little easier for you guys visually. Charles Sasser, welcome into the stream as well. Lewis Lynn, welcome. Yes, the whole point of... Well, yeah, that the running order got randomized during that last caution too, Lewis, unfortunately. Yeah, it's not working out. Okay, I'll go... actually, I can take a screenshot of it. Let me take a screenshot. I'll take a screenshot. And then I think I should be able to show you. I am having technical difficulties right now with OBS, trying to show you guys the points here that we do have updated going into Martinsville. It is a tight battle. It will be a nerve-wracking 500 laps, to say the least, unless I win, which obviously could be nerve-wracking too. So you don't know which one of these drivers is going to win and potentially lock themselves into the championship 4. I'll try to keep my camera on here as much as I can. Alright, took the screenshot, I edited it. Here are the points on the screen. Those are the current playoff standings after today's race at Kansas, heading into the round of 8. Or sorry, heading in, well, yeah, the round of 8 finale at Martinsville. Joey Logano won at Texas. Kyle Busch won today at Kansas. They are locked into the championship 4. Kevin Harvick, only 14 points to the good right now. He came into this race 8 points to the good, so he does gain 6 points on the cutoff line, even though he finished 25th today. That's because he won the first 2 stages, so that was very important for him to get those points early on before that game glitch under that final yellow with about 60 laps to go. And then William Byron, who came in 1 point below the cutoff line to Kyle Busch, is now 2 points above the cutoff line, and actually would have been more than that above the cutoff line, but because Kyle Busch won, that really hurt Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano. Well, hurt Ryan Blaney and really the rest of the field, considering another playoff driver won. So, yeah, I mean, if Kevin Harvick wins, he'd be the only playoff driver outside of course, Busch and Logano, who are already in the championship 4. If Harvick wins, as long as we beat Byron by 2 points at Martinsville, we'll get in still. But if somebody below that cutoff line wins, then we're going to have to pick up 14 points on Harvick alone, which means we're going to need a little help. I mean, we can go out there, we can win both of the first 2 stages, we can finish second. But if Kevin Harvick only finishes a couple spots behind us in both stages and in the race, and we only gain like 12 points on him, which is still solid. You know, it's a solid points day. We gain that much on the cutoff line, but I mean, that's all the cushion he needs. Thanks for getting rid of the bots in the chat, by the way, as well. -2 can be made up on stage points. That is true, but I mean, if Byron's like right there with us in the stage, that's why you don't want to rely on the points going into Martinsville. But that is going to be the case that we are in after 2 bad finishes to start the round. We had 60 playoff points, and we blew all of them in 2 races. Not 3 like Harvick did 2 years ago in 2020. Not in 3 races. We blew them in 2 races. We're already below the cutoff line. just with how good. I mean, Byron had top 5s in both races. Kyle Busch, Logano won, and Harvick, I think he had a top 5 at Texas, but then finished 25th today, but he won both stages. So, and I didn't get any stage points in either race. I had a combined 8 points. I scored a combined 8 points in the last 2 races. I should say I had 70, I think I had 75. Yeah, I had 75 playoff points, but I was 60 points above the cutoff line. I literally had a full race above the cutoff line going into Texas to start the round. We blew over a full race worth of points in 2 races. Good God Almighty. Mighty. It's not just this channel, actually. I was watching the NASCAR Weekly podcast last night on, I think it was on the Icebergs channel. And there were some bots there too, so it's not just my channel. It's going around the YouTube live stream chats for whatever reason. I don't know why. Appreciate the mods stepping in, though. Making this a safe place for everybody to watch. Well, again, thank you for everybody tuning in. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I will see you guys tomorrow. We will be running some NASCAR 06, and it will be at Michigan. I plan on doing the Cup race tomorrow, but I'm not entirely sure. I may change that up and run the Cup race on Saturday night and run the Busch race tomorrow. Either way, we're starting the race at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time regardless tomorrow evening. So 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow evening, no matter what race it's going to be, NASCAR Busch or Cup Series, but it will be Michigan NASCAR 06 regardless. Thanks for everybody watching today, and we'll try to make it to the Championship 4 at Martinsville next week on the channel, but I'll see you guys for some Michigan action over the next couple days leading into the Cup race in real life in Michigan on Sunday. See you guys. Have a good rest of your Thursday evening.